we are getting ready for our live NFBC Rotowire online championship. This is a 12-team Roto draft with in-season fab, in-season moves, the whole shebang. It's not a draft and hold or anything like that. 12-team Roto league. I know we call this the mock draft Megastream. This is not a mock draft. This is a real draft with big money on the line, $350 entry. I believe NFBC Hall of Famer John Posma is in this draft as well. So we'll
playing for second.
It's more like the beat John Posma draft, and we're just trying our best to compete with him here in that one. And we're sharing a team. I mean, that's the craziest part. 3 people sharing one team, and we have all wildly different views this season. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I've got a spreadsheet up of our consensus rankings. And so I want to see how much we actually believe in our ability to agree, because we have the number 5 pick and we all have Elly De La Cruz as the number 6 player. And we've been talking about it.
Who do we have 5th?
Kyle Tucker.
I like Tucker too, man.
Same dollar value.
I like Tucker too.
One, do you think Elly makes it to number 5?
No, I think he will be one of the top 4 picks. Another aspect of this upcoming draft that we're about to do, yes, it is a singular draft. We're also competing for an overall prize, a $350,000 grand prize, I believe. There are lots of teams involved in the overall here. It's a collection of 12-team leagues. You win your league, you do get prize money, but you can also win an overall prize. So you are shooting for a little bit more upside here as well throughout the draft. It's a 12-team league, so the waiver wire will be better than your typical 15-team NFBC league. So I do think that we'll see people shooting for a little bit more upside throughout the course of this draft. I don't think Elly De La Cruz will be there for us at 5.
Probably not, but hey, if that means Jose Ramirez falls, it's not a bad thing either.
Let's reset a little bit here. You are watching the Fantasy Baseball Today Mock Draft Megastream, the first ever. We are up to the 4th draft of the day. And you know what, Chris? Maybe you feel differently because you just got done hosting a draft by yourself. Not by yourself, but with Sky. I think it's going pretty well. I think everything's actually going pretty swimmingly. So
yeah, I mean, we'll see. We've got like 4 hours left, so we'll see. I had a PB&J earlier and a zebra cake. You remember zebra cakes?
They are so good.
Oh, so good. But that's not a lot of food for an adult to eat. I finished my thing of gummy worms earlier, so this is a mess for me personally. But I think it's going well overall.
If you need to hop out at any point, just
I'll eat when I'm dead.
Okay, no worries there. We are waiting for Scott to join the draft. Can we just agree, Chris, we're not going to let him draft Brandon Nimmo? That's just not going to happen, right?
I mean, look, if he's there at like 180 or something.
Nah.
The question here is anyone that we're drafting with watching?
Scott's here.
Oh, we're definitely going to draft Brandon Nimmo.
What's going on, Scott? How you doing, man? How was your time off?
My time off? Well, I was mostly working. You think this is a holiday or something? I did change shirts, though. I did.
Did you shower as well between drafts like Chris
Get
did?
a new mug? No.
No.
Do you shower during your work day? Only Chris Towers does that.
It was just that it's winter, technically, but it was hot in my apartment when I was drafting earlier. I was starting to get a little sweaty, so I had to wash off.
We're finally getting some nice weather here in the Northeast, and got it.
We've entered the talk about the weather portion of the live stream, huh?
Yes, we certainly have. Thanks everyone for checking in, watching live. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We have a new chant, 31K by opening day. 31K by opening day. We have surpassed 30,000 YouTube subscribers.
You love to see it.
Thank you all for helping us get there. We were trying to do it by the end of draft season. Boom, we are there, right smack in the middle of draft season, and couldn't do it without you, the listeners and the viewers here on YouTube. So we do, of course, appreciate doing that. We got about 2.5 minutes before this draft starts. If you have any questions in the chat, I guess we could take some of those while we try to fill some time. I don't think there's any crazy news or anything that I saw throughout the course of the day. I have
not seen anything.
tried to check in on some box scores and things between the drafts here while I was, again, scarfing down some din. And
yeah, I apologize to anyone for the FBT newsletter because tomorrow's is not going to be the biggest one that you've ever seen.
It is. It's going to have.
It's going to be important.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be exactly what you're looking for in your inbox.
Going to be links to everything that we've written that you need to read this spring. So, but if you were hoping for a patented Chris Towers writes 4,000 words about spring stuff, sorry, I don't have the time for it.
Chris, I do think it's totally defensible that we are doing a 10-hour stream of drafts all day that you don't put out one of your 4,000.
I still feel guilty about it, you know?
Tyler Stevenson is getting an MRI on his back.
That's the one.
Soreness. So
4,000 words is more like a newspaper than a newsletter, to be fair.
It's about 80 column inches, I think.
Yeah.
The Cubs and Lance Lynn have entered negotiations on a year deal. Okay. Cody Bradford will start the season on the IL. That's good to know. Christian Walker hit in the batting cages. That's a nice update.
Okay.
It's a good place to hit.
I thought you were going to say he was hit.
One thing we haven't mentioned today, or maybe it came up throughout one of the drafts, but Jeff McNeil has a strained right oblique.
That's a bummer for me.
Will be out 3 to 4 weeks. Jeff McNeil.
Oh, yeah. So
And,
that means Brett Beatty
Yeah.
is the leading candidate to start at second base. Remember him? He's back in second base form.
He is back. All right, I lied. I'm sorry. I said we were going to take some comments, but I was catching up on the news, and now we're 30 seconds out. So here we go, live.
All right. We didn't plan this. We didn't talk this through at all. You guys told me we refused to draft Brandon Nimmo, even if he's there, pick 250.
That's the only player that's off the board, yeah. Everything else is fine.
Look, I've got our...
He was in the lineup today, wasn't he? DH?
I don't know.
I thought I saw that.
Sure.
Also, I'll just let you guys know, I'll make the draft picks just so there's no confusion over who's making the draft picks here, okay?
Oh, we'll see about that.
Oh, gosh, this is going to be a disaster. Welcome in for the fun, a live 12-team Rotowire online auction championship, not an auction, online championship here on the NFBC. We've got the draft board up and running as well. No names involved, so you don't know who's drafting who. I know that is a big topic.
Oh, we're getting them.
Oh,
we did talk about Ellie in round
there you
1.
go.
If he made it to us at 5.
He didn't get hurt today, right? Or anything like that?
I didn't see anything, no.
You guys are good with it, right?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's not our consensus. Our consensus would be Kyle Tucker, but I don't think any of us have actually drafted Ellie this spring. So let's do it.
Let's do it all at once. Our one share of Ellie De La Cruz in case he goes 40-80 this year.
In our most important league. Oh, Gunnar Henderson 6th overall. Okay, no concerns there.
I'm not willing to call this our most important league, but fair enough.
I mean, it is the Beat Fantasy Baseball Today League, Scott. So
That's
it is
true.
It is one of our important leagues. Corbin Carroll goes off the board 7th overall. The first 7 picks: Shohei Ohtani, Bobby Witt Jr., Aaron Judge, Jose Ramirez, Ellie De La Cruz, Gunnar Henderson, and Corbin Carroll. I said this before the draft started, but in case you're just tuning in now, this is a 12-team league. We're playing to win this league. We're also competing for an overall championship, which there are
Ellie
lots.
De La Cruz, he's going to bring us home.
I hope you're right about that. Yeah, we shall see. The number 8 pick was Juan Soto.
I like that we've talked down Ellie De La Cruz's top 5 status all off season, and now I'm here turning cartwheels over it.
Well, it was just because we didn't expect it to happen.
I think I guaranteed that he would not be there for us before the draft. And what do I know?
Nothing.
Apparently so. Fernando Tatis Jr., the 9th overall pick of this draft. This is going to be a longer one, by the way. This is a 30-round draft. So we're going to be here for like 2.5 hours. So,
and
up.
Our number 5 consensus player still on the board as the 11th pick goes off. And there he is, Kyle Tucker.
It was made with an incredible speed, that pick.
That feels like the appropriate response. Yes, if you're picking 11th and Kyle Tucker is there, you should not have to think too hard about that pick. Ooh, we got a Pocket Aces draft.
Pocket Aces at the turn. Team 12 selects Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal together. will be interesting to come back to that team and see how the offense comes together.
I'm just now.
Go ahead, Scott.
This is probably the first time I've done a 12-teamer on the NFBC site because they always tend to be 15-teamers.
It's going to be a little weird, right?
I'm not sure I want Ellie anymore.
What? Why would you say that?
I'm just kidding. It'll be fair. Because stolen bases are more plentiful in 12 teams than 15.
Yeah, but I think there's more opportunity to take risks in a 12-team league, Scott, where in a 15-teamer, maybe you do want to kind of play it a little bit safer with your picks. I think in a 12er, we can maybe take a few more chances here. So,
and yes, for the people watching on the stream, we are Team 5.
Yes, we are Team 5.
It's not highlighted because we're on the... It's not showing everyone's names, but we're there.
Why isn't it showing everyone's names?
You're not supposed to show names.
Yeah, Scott, that's bad form.
It's bad form. You don't show the board.
Yeah. A couple other picks here in round 2 after we got pocket aces: Francisco Lindor, Julio Rodriguez, Vladimir Guerrero, Jackson Churio, Garrett Crochet, and Yordan Alvarez. Guys, we are up. So let's talk it through.
Boy, Yordan would have been awesome.
Fun. I think Bryce Harper makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so our consensus top player is Trey Turner, but
we shortstop.
Yeah, that's kind of overkill. So it's Bryce Harper, Jarren Duran, or Zach Wheeler if we wanted to go with a pitcher.
I like Harper.
I'm kind of thinking Duran personally. Guys,
think about how we always, if we wait on first baseman, we just
that's fair
out there.
But think about outfield.
Fair.
I'm leaning Duran.
Let's do it.
Just don't worry about stolen bases ever again.
Well, I guess if you guys both vote for it, I got to take it, right?
I think that's how it works. That's democracy, baby.
All right. Not the pick I would have made, but
this is democracy manifest.
Oh, gosh. I haven't drafted Jarren Duran anywhere this year. Just don't like buying at the peak coming off of a career year. I just got a weird feeling, but it is an awesome lineup. He's leading off again. He gives you some speed.
You know what? When I was last on for the Yahoo head-to-head categories draft, you know what my first 2 picks were?
Ellie De La Cruz.
It was Ellie De La Cruz and Jarren Duran, yeah. They're going to think I'm obsessed with them.
I would have taken Bryce Harper personally. Come on, guys. Bryce Harper, man. One of my guys. Chris, we have the powder blue Phillies jerseys. We could have worn them together.
Well, we could have.
Let's let things play out.
So part of my thought is I want to see where if the next pick goes, because it's possible that there's still some pretty good first basemen available when we make our next pick. Don't want to say any names.
That is entirely possible. After Duran, it was Zach Wheeler, Jackson Merrill, Bryce Harper, and Jazz Chisholm.
That's pretty much where Jazz goes now, huh?
The team 1 gets a lot of speed here. Ohtani, Jazz, and Trey Turner to start.
That's a pretty awesome start.
That's pretty good.
Good value on Trey Turner.
Worth pointing out, Bobby Witt, I don't think we have an official update on him yet outside of just that Jeff Passan tweet where not expected to miss any extended time. He still goes second overall in this draft, and he was paired with Bryce Harper there in round 2.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he goes second ahead of Judge. I figured people might be a little cautious about that, but I think it's fine.
The Royals tweet specifically said he'll be reevaluated in the morning. So the fact we haven't gotten anything new, I take that as good news.
He might be just gone, though.
What if they didn't reveal what has been reevaluated yet because it's bad?
What if they lost Bobby Witt?
I think by now we'd know that, but who knows?
I mean, physically lost him. They just don't know where he is.
He's hanging out with Vinny Pasquantino somewhere. They seem like boys. A couple other picks here. Ketel Marte, Freddie Freeman. So if that's who you guys were hoping to get.
That was the name I was obliquely referring to, yes.
Freddie Freeman with Ellie. That makes a little bit of sense. Get that batting average back up a little bit here. We are 1 pick away. I have 2 players that I would be totally fine with.
I'm queuing up some suggestions here.
I like the top one. Yeah, all right, so we're up. It was Matt Olson. I like Austin Riley and William Contreras here. I'm fine with
Yeah, I was thinking Austin Riley or William Contreras. Austin Riley is our consensus top player, the top 3 in our consensus ranks. Technically, it's Ronald Acuna, Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna, and William Contreras. I imagine Acuna will
Not in
probably
this
be moving
league.
down a little bit.
It's
Yeah,
a
and I'm going to move him down.
2-catcher league, by the way. Reminder.
Yeah, that's I'm
going
leaning
Riley.
Contreras.
I'm leaning Riley.
I like Riley here too.
All right, let's go Riley. I've been outvoted.
Yeah. I mean, I get it with William Contreras. I think it's totally fine here, and he's a little bit past ADP. But as I've talked about all offseason, I like grabbing that third baseman and fully expecting the Austin Riley bounce back. 4-category stud, gives us some power to pair with Ellie and Jarren Duran. So that is the pick. And we've got some power. We got a lot of speed so far.
We're going to have to be intentional about batting average, though.
At some point.
Riley normally helps with batting average. I guess either him or Contreras would have
270-ish, I think. Yeah.
Contreras is going to be a bigger edge on the rest of the catchers than Riley on the third baseman. But yeah,
that's true.
Yep.
The only thing if Rafael Devers makes it to us at pick 44, then I'll be,
which is possible the way he's been slipping.
Yeah, it is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not, but possible.
Yeah, he hit a tank off of Walker Buehler today in intra-squad game, something like that. So
I think he's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's a third baseman anymore, but I think he's fine.
It does sound like he's more open to playing DH this upcoming season. Again, that's Rafael Devers, who just goes off the board. So I think a nice call by us, taking Austin Riley. After Riley, it was Logan Gilbert, William Contreras, Corbin Burns, and Rafael Devers.
Yeah, pretty standard so far. No real big surprises.
Nothing crazy.
Machado,
we're getting those third round basemen. I do have Rotowire online ADP up over the past week. So if you guys need any reference.
Oh, I got it too.
Let me know.
Not my first rodeo, Frank.
I've got do you have the draft board version up, or do you have just the classic ADP? I like the draft board because it's just easier for me to visualize and see where players are going.
Yeah, I don't have that one. I don't even know what you're talking about. Maybe it is my first rodeo.
Yeah, Langford there, the first big deviation from our consensus rankings, but
yeah,
based on ADP, it's not really much of a reach. That's just, he's kind of going in the 35 to 40 range now.
The past week of these drafts over at NFBC, Wyatt Langford's ADP is right around here, 37. So the 3-4 turn, and he's been playing in spring games. He's been hitting so far. He looks like he's past that oblique injury. Everything is good for now. The big breakout for Wyatt Langford is back on this season.
And he's it's a very small sample size, but early returns have been he's like 5 for 7 in his first 3 games or something.
Yeah. I mean, Wyatt Langford, no stranger to destroying.
Oh, look at this guy. Training. The guy picking 12th, he put Tarek Skubal and Paul Skeens with his first 2 picks, 3 and 4, Devin Williams and Emmanuel Class A.
Zig when everyone else is zagging.
It's very unconventional build.
It's an ethos.
Very interesting. Again, we'll come back to that team and see how the offense comes together. Should be pretty interesting. O'Neal Cruz goes to team 11. So Tucker, Lindor, Wyatt Langford, O'Neal Cruz. You got the 2 hype guys back to back with Langford and Cruz there.
What do you think of those 3 I've queued up?
Let me see what you got.
Yeah, the hitter was who I was thinking if he's there.
It presents a complication, but I like the cryptic talk here.
Yeah,
because most of these guys are listening, right, or watching. We would presume.
I would assume at least some of them are.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 8 picks, I think, 6 picks between us and our next draft.
What about this guy who I don't like, Chris, but I'm adding him?
You don't like Chris?
I don't like, Chris, but I'm adding him.
I know you didn't ask me, but I kind of like it.
Well,
yeah, no, I think that's a perfectly fine pick for the team that we have so far.
But we want the top guy in the queue. We might get him.
I think so.
Okay.
Like you said, it represents
unanimous.
some complications.
Yeah.
In terms of positioning.
Well,
but that can be overcome.
Too fine a point on it, Chris.
Yeah.
Come on.
What are you doing, Chris? Come on.
Got to keep our gamesmanship going here.
I'm sorry.
Just
I don't even care about helping people who are watching anymore. It's just, okay, Michael Harris was the other hitter that I don't really like. Okay.
It's there.
Ronald Acuna goes with the very next pick.
When we picked Olsen, I thought Corey Seager should be our next pick, and Corey Seager is available, and we all seem to agree that Corey Seager should be the pick.
Let's just make sure before we over a pitcher, right? You guys are fine with that?
So there's Chris Sale and Cole Reagan still, and they're the only other ones I would consider.
Yeah.
Obviously, it is weird that we spent our first round pick on a shortstop, and now we're taking a shortstop in round 4. But our categorical needs, Seager just meets them so well.
Mm-hmm.
It does, and in a 12-teamer, it's easier to replace him if he does get hurt.
Yep. I'm fully on board. That's our consensus top player too.
All right, there it goes, Corey Seager. Interesting build. I'm interested to see how it comes together. We've got Ellie, Jarren Duran, Austin Riley, and Corey Seager. So covering all the hitting categories. At some point, we'll look into a pitcher.
That is our.
It's only a 12-teamer.
That is our number 34 player, and we got him at 44. Can't complain.
You see that slide for Acuna though too. He went 43rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he needs to be outside of the top 40 if
he's not returning
out of if April's out of the picture, then I think that's right.
And worth pointing out again, NFBC, no IL spots. We have 7 bench spots. So if you take Acuna, he's sitting on your bench for the next 6 weeks. You almost assuredly can't take another stash candidate, or at least I wouldn't. I mean, whoever drafted Acuna can choose to do that if they want to, but it makes it a lot harder to manipulate your bench if you take 2 injured players, basically. So after Seager, there was Josh Hader, the 3rd closer off the board. 4th, excuse me. Edwin Diaz went in there as well. And then Cole Reagans will not be on our team because
he was the consensus top pitcher for us left. Diaz, his velocity has been down so far this spring. Do we have any concerns about that?
Every other closer.
Is
there a closer whose velocity isn't down? Because
Mason Miller hit 102. Justin Martinez hit 103.
Okay, you're right. Justin Miller. We don't know that he's a closer, but his velocity isn't down. I had queued up Jose Altuve, thinking he might work for us.
That felt like the most obvious next one, but
I had just queued up James Wood, and he also went at the turn.
What do you think about the guy left in the queue? This might be a contentious one.
No, I'd actually be down with it.
Yeah.
It would be my first time drafting him this year.
We do need a backup plan just in case. I'll throw. Oh yes, whoever's doing that, I like those.
That's me.
Yep. How about these two?
Yeah.
There's this. If we want to go that route.
I don't know how useful this is for anybody.
We're talking about our queue. We don't want to reveal the players. Once they go, we will talk about the players. For anyone we're drafting against, we don't want them to take the players we're talking.
It becomes a fun guessing game. Think of it that way. It's like a game show.
It's pretty good. At the turn, by the way, James Wood and Ozzy Albies, that team won. Otani, Jazz, Trey Turner, James Wood, and Albies. It's a pretty fun team.
I mean, that is.
Yep.
So it's not going to be a pitcher.
It's not going to be Chris Sale.
Well, it could be a pitcher.
It could be a pitcher. I don't think it should be a pitcher. So how do we organize them? How do we rank them? Do we rank them how they are? We want batting average, right? All else.
All right. Whatever. We're talking about utility only players. And the way our consensus is Ozuna, Schwarber, Rooker. And all 3 of them are there.
Ozuna's the best batting average bet, and I still think that's what we need most.
Or we could go with Dylan Cease. I think those are the 2 options, either Ozuna or Cease.
I was thinking about Cease too.
I'm okay waiting on pitcher.
Me too.
I could see a pitcher. I could see a pitcher run coming, but it hasn't happened yet.
Right.
This draft outside of Team 12 has been pretty light on pitching. So
I've seen a couple other of these online championships, and pitching typically goes pretty late.
I'm okay with Ozuna. It does lock us in. We are.
If there's an awesome shortstop later,
that's the problem.
I mean, it's for our bench, but
well, that is true.
But I still think Ozuna's the pick.
I think so too. Scott,
I don't like the idea of not being able to take another shortstop.
Okay, then let's go.
Let's take Ozuna. I'm on board. Ozuna.
Okay. So we do get our utility filled up early on here through 5 rounds. We have Ellie De La Cruz, Jaron Duran, Austin Riley, Corey Seager, and Marcel Ozuna. Next pick was Raisel Iglesias. He is the, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sounds like the sixth
close off the board. Yeah, Mason Miller just went a few picks ago too.
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't have taken Ozuna.
Scott. Cool as a cucumber, baby. Cool as a cucumber.
That is my auction approach. All right, I'm allowed to tilt a little in draft still. A little.
Tilted like a pinball machine.
Well, it's going to be upsetting if, Brent Rooker just went. If Kyle Schwarber makes it back to us.
Yeah, that'll be.
Kyle Schwarber just went. Oh, you took him out of the queue.
No, I took him out of the queue. Okay. We're not taking him now. So
right, no, obviously.
I took him out of the queue, yeah.
I mean, we could have the best bench around.
In this league where trades aren't allowed.
Oddly enough, I'm in an NFBC slow draft, draft champions, 15-team draft and hold, Roto. And the first pick also took Marcel Ozuna. They took Ohtani and Marcel Ozuna.
That feels like you just forgot.
Maybe. It did not make any sense to me at all. So, I mean, I guess with Rooker, Chris, you've kind of defended this a little bit more where Rooker gained the outfield eligibility, but even then it's the opportunity cost that you're passing up on a player at the 4 or 5 turn in a 15-teamer.
I can't remember. Is it 5 appearances in season for eligibility on NFBC or is it 10?
It's 10. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's potentially viable on another platform, but if it's 10 appearances, that's
can't be sure when Rooker's going to get those.
Let's catch up on picks. After Iglesias, there was Blake Snell, Yainer Diaz, Brent Rooker, Adley Rutschman, Lawrence Butler, Brenton Doyle, and into round 6, Matt McClain. Lawrence Butler, I was holding out on a little hope maybe he'd make it back to us in round 6.
Chris is relieved that he didn't.
Team 11 is just the all-hype team. Kyle Tucker, Lindor, Langford, O'Neal Cruz, Lawrence Butler.
Could really work out. I mean, if you're playing for an overall, there's a lot of 5-category potential there.
Shoot for the upside, baby. Shoot for the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle Schwarber did not make it back to us.
Okay, that's good. The team that took 4 pitchers, it was Paul Skeens, Tarek Skubal, Devin Williams, Emmanuel Clase. That's who it was, right?
Yes, they just got Brenton Doyle and Matt McClain.
Matt McClain. So shooting for upside, shooting for 5-category potential, although batting average likely to be a problem for those two. I would keep an eye on like Luis Arias
or Steven Kwan.
As a potential target for this team.
Yeah, like maybe you take Kwan and a big power bat together, just to kind of balance that out a little bit. All right, we're in round 6. Thanks to everyone for watching and hanging out. Over 2,000 people still watching. Woo. We're going strong here. It's we're in almost up to hour 5 of the mock draft mega stream. This is not a mock draft, by the way. This is one that we are playing out this season over on the NFBC and competing for an overall prize in the Rotowire Online Championship. The next pick is Adley Rutschman, and there are a few teams that do not have a pitcher at all yet. We are one of them. Team 11 has 6 hitters. Team 10 has 6 hitters, including 2 catchers, Adley Rutschman and Wilson Contreras. And then Team 1 has 5 hitters so far and no pitcher. So 4 teams to this point who don't have a pitcher yet. And there goes Dylan Cease. That would have been fun if he made it back.
It would have been. I was getting my hopes up. Always dangerous.
We are 2 picks away here.
What do you guys think of that team that went Adley, Wilson Contreras? This is where Wilson Contreras is starting to go. I think it's taking it too far. That's what
you guys don't. Well, just we're up, and I don't.
Oh, we're up. Yeah.
I don't know.
For me, I absolutely think it's the pitcher in the queue.
Yeah, hit that button. I don't even think there's any debate.
The only other thing I would think about is outfield here.
Yeah.
But I think we need a pitcher.
Who's the best outfielder left, though?
I think for me,
is Framber Valdez. He's just so unexciting.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with unexciting.
I don't have a great alternative in mind, so let's do it.
Just to build out that innings base.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna wait, I think unexciting is fine.
Yeah, you guys are fine with that over any of the outfielders here, right?
It's just I feel like there are so many pitchers. Take Valdez. We got 10 seconds left.
Yes,
there are so many pitchers who can compete with Valdez in terms of output on the board still, but.
Well, we've got we could take multiple of those, Scott, because we're going to have to fill out the pitching staff.
That is how pitching works.
We need it. We've got to fill 9 pitcher spots at some point.
All right. What do you guys think of the guy I just added to the queue?
Nope.
Come on.
I'm more open to it than Frank is.
Come on.
What about what?
No.
What about this guy?
How about that?
Nah. Well, I don't know which one you were referring to.
He added the second one. I added the third one.
Okay. Nah.
All right.
I mean, what
sounds like there's a divide here for the next pick.
Any of these? Boom, 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 boom.
Frank's choice was Jordan Westburg, and he's gone now.
I try to get Westburg in every draft. Wait, it's about that time because
Caminero.
Yeah, that's what's happening too.
Caminero. So he went 70th.
Top
7. So we've seen him go in the 3 drafts I've been in. Junior Caminero has gone 55, 90th, and 70th.
It would be nice if I can do math or just read the numbers on the screen, because I said a top 60 pick and he was the 70th pick. So that is more accurate. Junior Caminero in the 6th round. The next pick is Michael King. Jordan Westburg gone as well. I think I would vote outfielder or starter.
Well, yeah, I think that's now that. Well, there's also Marcus Semien. Is it too early for him? I'm so confident nobody's excited about him that I'm just going to say his name.
He usually goes in round 9 of these drafts, so we might be able to get him in round 8.
I could live without him even.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think passing on him is fine.
Yeah, I think outfielder pitcher here is.
I don't know if any of these outfielders are really. I think the pitchers are better relative to the ones remaining than the outfielders are.
I just think.
Well, I'm going to move the one to the top. Santander seems like he's fallen a long way. I don't know, because he's kind of working against batting average that we're trying to build back up. But he's going to give a lot of numbers. But I don't. There are enough other good ones here that I don't think. I'm just not that excited about.
Nope, it's not going to be Santander anyway.
I just wrote in the StreamYard chat who I would like to take. I don't know how you guys feel about it though.
Again,
we're on deck. Go ahead and say it.
No. What if this person takes him? I can't do that. He only has one outfielder, Scott.
So here, let me make my case for Jacob deGrom, who, if we're worried that Framber Valdez is boring and unexciting, the Framber-Jacob deGrom combo is not. And that's a decent pairing of skills and risk. And it's a value relative to our rankings. That's all I'm going to say.
I think I'd rather go Imanaga.
But why DeGrom if we could just get Strider later, Chris?
Right, exactly. I don't want to foreclose that possibility.
Because you can't
Glass now, or even Glass.
Sure,
but the way they're talking about limiting DeGrom's innings within individual starts.
Okay, we've got to talk about this because we are up. I would vote for Suzuki. He gives you batting average, and we need outfield, and he gives you
I want Imanaga.
Let's do Suzuki.
All right, you good with it, Chris?
Yep.
All right.
You've been outvoted, Scott.
Yeah, first time for everything. Probably won't be the last time.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
Someone very quickly took DeGrom after Suzuki just felt like a reach, right? Like what?
A little bit. We have him 76th, and that was what, the 77th pick?
Last week of ADP, he goes in round 7 in these drafts.
So the players,
a Frank guy.
There are 4 guys ahead of him in our rankings. Do you want me to mention them?
No.
Sure.
Semien, Imanaga, Robert, and Bichette are ahead of him in our consensus rankings.
And we can't draft Bichette, so.
And we cannot draft Bichette. So yeah, that's we technically can, but yes.
bad idea.
Can we trade him? No, there's no trading on the NFBC. So.
Can we convince the Rangers to move Corey Seager to third base? Maybe.
Possibly.
Well, there goes Simeon.
Very unlikely.
All right, now that Ryan Walker's gone, I'm going to stick another guy in the queue. Chris isn't going to like it.
It's toughy. Should probably read off some of the picks that are actually happening in this draft.
Yeah.
For the listening audience, at the 6-7 turn, there was Pablo Lopez and Spencer Schwellenbach.
That's a neat combo, yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Santander, Yoshinobu Yamamoto into the 7th round. It seems like he fell a little bit. Bryce Miller, we took Seiya Suzuki, then Jacob deGrom, Ryan Walker, Marcus Semien, and Cal Raleigh.
We probably should have thought more about Raleigh, maybe. That seems like a pretty good discount.
It's a nice price, yeah.
Yeah.
But presents some batting average complications, yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
You know me, I'm a worrier.
Oh,
why my friends call me Whiskers.
That's why your friends call you what, Chris?
Whiskers.
Whiskers. Gotcha. Do they actually call you that?
It's an old SNL bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you know I wouldn't understand.
It's Will Ferrell's Harry Carey, so it's relevant to our purposes. It's a baseball. The Harry Carey talk show.
Okay, Felix Bautista just went. I was wondering if I was going to have to convince you guys. And there goes Shota Imanaga. Our should have been last pick. So I guess this is the guy now, right? Just moving into the top of the queue.
No, the guy who just got drafted would have been the guy I was arguing for.
Hunter Brown?
No, Luis Robert.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hunter Brown,
So that was the guy who took the 4 pitchers at the start. He takes Hunter Brown in round 8. Bailey Oberge goes right after him. I'm getting a little worried about pitching, you guys.
Scott,
I'm a little worried.
Yep. You are the one that loves to wait. We're going to be just fine.
Well, you waited so long.
We're going to be just
I wanted Imanaga last round.
Scott, we're supposed to be sanguine.
Cool.
We're supposed to be blasé.
Okay. Yeah. Bellinger's gone. Oh, he's not gone.
The good glob is still here.
Oh, it's
depleting though.
Interesting call out there.
So starting round 8, we got Hunter Brown followed by Bailey Ober followed by Max Fried.
There is one.
And then Yohan Duran. So saves are getting scarcer.
They are.
There is one starting pitcher that I would be very happy to take. He's at the top of our queue. And let's see if we can get there.
It is my highest ranked one.
It is by far our highest ranked one.
Yeah, but we're higher on him than the consensus. And I've debated moving him down. But he is DeGrom-like in his strengths and weaknesses. It's Tyler Glass now.
I know what Scott's doing. He
doesn't want Tyler Glass to be the pick.
I think we're drafting with some very self-assured drafters here. Okay, they put a lot of money on the line.
He is trying to. Scott's trying to tank the team.
I am. That's.
That was a nice pick there, Cody Bellinger. I thought that was a good call out, Scott. I would have been interested as we don't have a first baseman yet, so.
Oh, we don't. I forgot about that.
I would have been down for that.
Yeah.
All right, we are on deck, and that's who I was gonna say. Just went Joe Ryan and Hunter Green.
Yeah, we have to take a picture here. It's
agreed.
Our top ones are the number 77 player is Tyler Glasnow. Number 79 is Logan Webb.
What about Aaron Nola? We got Webb higher than Nola?
Consensus? We have Webb a couple spots higher than Nola.
So why don't we take Glasnow and then hope we could get one of Nola or Webb back?
I think take Glasnow and hope and take one of the Boringer guys next. Boringer being not word.
All right. I kind of like it. Scott?
Yeah, we'll take Glasnow.
All right. Shooting for the moon. Here we go. Tyler Glasnow, our SP2 to go along with Framber Valdez. We also have Seiya Suzuki, Marcell Ozuna, Corey Seager, Austin Riley, Jarren Duran, and Ellie De La Cruz. And there goes Brian Reynolds. This was a big pitching round, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
There have been 9 picks. 7 of them have been pitchers. Glasnow, Joe Ryan, Hunter Green, Yohan Duran, Max Fried, Bailey Ober, and Hunter Brown.
Yep. It's
Someone in the chat thinks you should mute me, Frank.
Wow, that's rude.
You should mute me for my mutiny.
In what chat? The YouTube chat?
Yeah.
Why would they say that?
Because I was giving our secrets away.
Oh.
That's a fair point.
Well, it didn't work, Scott. You tried your best. And we still wound up getting Tyler Glasnow. So.
Did Trout go?
No.
No? Okay.
I don't know if we could take Mike Trout and Tyler Glasnow on the same team, can we? You're asking for trouble.
It is possible to take them both on the same team.
It's legally allowed.
Sure.
I checked.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Throat clearing. That shouldn't happen on a live stream. Bad etiquette.
Well, Scott, it's been a long day. I think we'll let you slide here.
That's why I'm always muting myself. Try not to clear my throat on the
Are you going to read out some picks or no?
There's not a lot going on, Scott. There's been 3 picks.
Oh, okay.
So Brian Reynolds, Riley Green, and Logan Webb just went.
So there goes
Webb.
Webb
Two of the
lies.
top 3 players left on our consensus ranks. Shortstops.
One is Bichette, and we're fairly ridiculous with
4
him.
5 picks higher on him than consensus, yes.
And one is Willie Adames, who none of us like.
Yes, also that.
I don't think we're actually ridiculous on Bichette, by the way. I think everyone else is, but we are way ahead of everyone else.
Contract year end, he cut his hair. So
no Mo Flow Bichette.
Big talking point this offseason.
Those are the reasons why we like Bichette. Nailed it.
Christian Walker and then Shane O'Mac. Whoop.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money.
Did you hit the Sandy button? Is that who that was?
Yeah, that was whoopsie. Not yet. It's not time for him yet.
We're not getting Spencer Strider, folks.
Nah. We couldn't after taking Glasnow.
I agree with
We
that.
could have.
So Shane McClanahan and Spencer Strider kicking off round 9. Some upsidey starting pitchers.
Like we don't. Glasnow's healthy right now, so when by the time he gets hurt, Strider would be back and we'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been.
That is one way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you're going to get pitching injuries all year long.
Yeah.
Willie Adames just went, by the way.
Yeah, and that's a good value at 99th overall. This is the 100th pick of the draft coming up.
Yeah, usually the ADP past week at NFBC is 95.2.
All right, we're up, guys. And
all right,
Nola's still there.
We dodged a bullet there. Are you guys good with Nola? Is that
Absolutely
consensus?
It's a coup.
We don't have an outfielder yet, right?
We have 2 outfielders.
That's right.
Aaron and say
Aaron Nola, that's fine. I'm gonna say.
Okay, I'm just gonna
pump the brakes on pitching for the next 6
over Justin Steele, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like Justin Steele.
Yeah, Nola.
I think Nola is a good balance with Glasnow, and
yeah.
Okay, so
now we got 2 solid anchors in Nola and Framber who have some ERA risk. Glasnow is not like a sure bet for a super low ERA. So if there's one thing we're like a little weak on, it might be ERA, but I think the talent for those 3 fits together very well.
Mm-hmm. I just added a name to the bottom of the queue, which I think I'd be down for next pick if you guys have interest in that.
I don't know about that, Tim.
Yeah.
I don't think so, Tim.
I'd be open for it, but I think he goes a lot later than that, right?
Let's see. No.
Okay. Are we talking about the same guy?
I think you are.
On the
Still
very
at the bottom of the queue? Okay.
Yeah. Next pick after Aaron Nola, Roki Sasaki. 2 very different players right now in terms of just one being an old veteran-y, not excited to draft type, and then Roki Sasaki.
And that is, with my box score catch-up yesterday, I got a chance to look at that second Roki Sasaki start up close. It was bizarre how we got basically the 2023 version of Sasaki in his first start of the spring, and then the 2024 version in the second start. So totally confused how this is actually going to go.
I just think given the likely workload limitations, I have to be really, really confident that he's going to be a no doubt about it impact arm to justify a 100-ish pick. And I'm just not. I think there will be times when you watch him pitch and you feel really dumb for passing on him. But I think the overall impact is unlikely to be worth a top 100 pick.
All right, a couple picks after Sasaki: Christian Yelich, Jake Berger, and Freddie Peralta.
This draft's going kind of slow, right? I'm not.
We're 110 picks in roughly, and it's been 38 minutes.
Doesn't seem
I don't
terrible.
know. Yeah, we got to get through 360.
By the end of the 10th round, that will be the 1/3 mark. So
yeah,
kind of
it'll be about 2.5 hours.
I think like 2:15, something like that. Yeah. There goes
Flo Bichette.
Right,
not anymore.
Right on ADP there, pretty much at 106. So this is a draft where I would have actually been able to enjoy the discount had I been able to enjoy the discount.
You think there's any chance the guy at the top of our queue makes it 11 or 8?
I would be thrilled if he did.
Yeah,
I think Frank won it, but
that's true.
There's no denying the value.
It's pretty far past ADP.
I think either of these two guys at the top of the queue.
Yep. To quote Storage Wars, yep. Did you guys?
What about this guy?
That was Jeff Hoffman's second pick of the 10th round. That was who Frank was hoping for there.
Yeah, we do need to address saves at some point. It's true. You guys are drafting like me here with the trying to get by the skin of your teeth at closer.
I will say,
I saw in the box scores today, David Bednar got destroyed. He gave up 5 runs today. I think he only recorded 1 or 2 outs. Yeah. I don't know, man.
He's off my board for the most part. Nice value on Trout.
Yeah, a couple picks here. Shea Langoliers, Jeff Hoffman, Justin Steele, Mike Trout. Some at the end of round 9. There was also Luis Castillo and Logan O'Hoppe. Catcher's starting to go to, by the way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's about time to have a discussion about the catchers we just added to the queue.
I think so too.
It's too early I'm just going to say it because nobody wants them. Okay. As late as JT Real Muto has been going lately.
You think it's too early to take him here?
I think we should push the envelope with that.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm also the guy who takes like Travis d'Arnaud as my second catcher in every league,
I'm okay with that.
So maybe I'm just
going to put on the record, not okay with Travis d'Arnaud as our second catcher.
As your second catcher?
There's
a dozen homers and
another.
Didn't make it.
There is another
Josh
late
Naylor
round
was who
catcher
we were
I would
hoping
prefer.
for. He fell like 40 spots. So we would have taken him as our first baseman, Josh Naylor, ideally. But now we got to think about something else.
Mm-hmm. That we do. Past couple picks, Josh Naylor, Zach Gallen, Mike Trout, and Sonny Gray goes. We are on the clock.
All right.
Guys, is it about that time?
Baby.
You want to go for Vinny P here? There is that other first baseman.
Either that or a third baseman or a closer would be the 3 ways I would look.
You don't like the second guy in the queue, Chris? I mean, you like him, but
I forgot about
right
him,
on ADP
but
now.
I like it too.
Actually, that's the one, Dylan Cruz.
Okay, I'm on board.
You guys are okay.
I'm totally on board with that one.
Risking not getting.
Yep.
Actually, everyone after us has a first baseman already, so I think we could try it. I mean, it might not work. They can draft Vinny P as a corner if they want, but you guys want Dylan Cruz.
Dylan Cruz.
Okay.
Let's get a third outfielder.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I
gives
like
us
that one.
gives us some more speed to go along with Ellie and Duran. We hadn't drafted speed for a while, so
And actually, I did want to ask you guys.
he's got
Right after.
I did want to ask you guys because I talked about it with Sky, but Ellie's going to be hitting third for the Reds. Do you think there's any hit to his stolen bases there? They announced that today.
I think it's certainly possible. Anytime someone's coming off a 67 steal season, I think the expectation should be like
less. Yeah.
And he has,
probably going to give 40 to 50. Like that is my expectation personally.
And he has a manager, Terry Francona, whose history doesn't lend itself to a lot of big base stealers. You know, he kind of came up in the Moneyball era where that was discouraged more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, like, if they ever give him Ellie De La Cruz the red light, they're doing it wrong, you know?
Yeah, I kind of view it as he should be allowed to run as much as he wants to.
And it should help the counting stats, I think, batting third, right? At least the RBI.
Yeah.
Let's catch people up on picks here after Dylan Cruz. The one we all reacted to was Vinny Pasquantino going with the very next pick. I said, oh, every team has a first baseman. Maybe we could get him.
Well,
or maybe
some teams want a corner infielder.
That's right.
Believe it or not.
After Vinny P.
Some teams choose a middle infielder in round 4. You never know.
I've heard of dummies doing that.
Crazy. Pete Crow Armstrong was the next pick. Will Smith. And at the turn here, Mark Vientos and Ian Happ. We are into round 11. And Alex Bregman just
I was gonna start pounding the table for Alex Bregman.
Tanner Scott goes and saves are drying up a little bit here.
I mean, if the top of our queue is still there, we got to take him. Right?
I would suggest the second guy in the queue.
What if I change the player who's at the top of the queue?
No. I think we have to take the one at the top of the queue, given the state of that position.
I do like those two names in particular. So
our
decision might be made for us right now.
I know I'm on a limb.
It's Tristan Casas.
Okay,
we didn't get Vinny
out on
P.
a limb on one other first baseman, but I know you guys don't like him. I would be okay waiting at first base, but
plus we need a corner infielder still.
Yeah.
I think we got to go Casas. I think this is a gift after we missed out on Pasquantino. What do you think, Chris? I mean, Frank, what do you think?
I think the two names we have at the top are the ones that I like. I hear you on Casas. Like him as a breakout this season. I think I lean that way too.
Let's go with Casas. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. We got Tristan Casas. Welcome to the squad. Batting cleanup for the Red Sox, but stay healthy, please. Let's get a full season out of Tristan Casas.
Let's get.
There's no doubt we have a lot of
contact.
We've got a lot of upside here between Casas and Cruz and Ellie and
it was too early for the other guy you guys wanted. Just looking at ADP over the last week.
Red Sox stack, by the way. We've got Duran and Casas. That's pretty fun.
I would be happy if either of the two guys at the top of our queue are there the next time around.
Agreed.
Yeah. Let's update the state of the team. We've got Ellie De La Cruz, Jarren Duran, Austin Riley. These names are very small. I should look at. All right. Tristan Casas, Ellie De La Cruz, Austin Riley, Corey Seager as our middle infielder, Marcelo's in as our utility. We are boxed in at shortstop. We've got Jarren Duran, Seiya Suzuki, and Dylan Cruz in the outfield. And our pitching staff so far, Framber Valdez, Tyler Glasnow, and Aaron Nola. And look at that, Robbie Ray getting pushed up draft boards. It's not just Chris.
I got my tight pants on.
Robbie Ray, by the way, 8 more strikeouts here in his latest spring training game on Thursday.
Yeah, again, immaculate inning in the first against.
Really, an immaculate inning?
Yeah, I said that earlier.
That immaculate inning and that 8 strikeout effort for Robbie Ray was worth 21 points, 21 spots in ADP, just compared to the last week.
4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 0 walks, 8 strikeouts. The 0 walks, obviously, you love to see it from Robbie Ray, who I believe it looks like in a small sample size, the control has been really good this spring. 17 strikeouts to 0 walks for Robbie Ray this spring, which is
there's no StatCast on that one, so we don't get to see how much he used the changeup. But yeah, he struck out Marcus Semien, Wyatt Langford, and Jake Berger on 9 pitches earlier today, apparently.
Very nice. A couple other picks after Robbie Ray: Ezekiel Tovar, Jared Jones, Matt Chapman, and Royce Lewis. Who just added that name to the queue?
It was me. It was a very half-hearted addition to the queue.
Ah!
I don't love it.
We've reached the just guttural sounds part of the live stream.
So I didn't want to bring Royce Lewis up because I know you guys don't like him nearly as much as I do, but Royce Lewis was the top player for our consensus for a long time.
George Kirby, interestingly, goes with the first pick of round 12, and that was 133rd overall.
That is that person's sixth pitcher through 12 rounds.
Yeah, that was a team that started with 4 pitchers in a row, 2 starters, 2 relievers, then Brenton Doyle, Matt McClain, Luis Robert, Hunter Brown, Logan O'Hoppe, Shea Langoliers, Xavier Edwards. So what we said earlier about trying to add a big batting average, that they might have gotten that with Xavier Edwards. So
might have, but it's real iffy.
After Kirby, Luis Garcia Jr., we are going to have a lesser second baseman, but you can't have everything, obviously.
And I've said it many times. I think the depth at second base is actually fine if you're going to wait. There are plenty of not at all sure things, but really interesting talents in the 10 to 24-ish range at the second base ranking. So that's a position I actually do not mind waiting on.
And that's true in Roto. If we were doing a head-to-head, I think in either format, head-to-head where there's no middle infield spot.
Yeah.
I think you'd want to be more aggressive in going after a second baseman.
Yeah.
But it's Roto, kind of the Swiss Army knife position for Roto.
Yeah. In Roto, you've got tons of stolen bases, especially in the later rounds, but there's some really good sources of batting average as well. There's some sneaky power. Second base is a position in Roto I actually really don't mind waiting on and just seeing what my team needs in like the 15th or later round range and taking whatever's there.
All right, catching people up on picks here after Luis Garcia. Sandy.
Tell me about it, Stud.
Sandy Alcantara, then Jack Flaherty and Stephen Kwan. We are 2 picks away. Pretty cool that the spring breakout games are going on right now. Those are prospect against prospect games, and Christian Campbell and Marcelo Meyer apparently went back-to-back in that game. That is fun.
I got to put that on.
Good for Christian Campbell. Good for him.
It's been struggling a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so our pick's coming up, and I think there's a clearer value than the other.
Yep.
But
do we like that guy more than the other guy? We do have.
I'm kind of inclined to push it more with the saves.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree.
That's just because you want us to take Brandon Nimmo.
No. Nimmo's not. You guys were wanting to take the guy at the top of our queue like 3 rounds ago, right? 2 or 3 rounds ago.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It's pretty interesting. We are on the clock. Let me do a quick survey of what the teams after us have.
Only 1 catcher between them.
Yep. That I am.
I say Real Muto.
Let's do it. Yeah, baby.
I say we bet on the Real Muto bounce back.
You're already outnumbered, Frank.
It's a democracy. This is democracy manifest.
What you guys say goes.
That's right. JT Real Muto took advantage of the discount for once, and even by just the standards of the last week here, Real Muto's 129 on average, and we got him at 140.
Yep.
Can't complain about that.
Right before JTR, we saw Randy Arozarena, Xander Bogaerts, Stephen Kwan all go.
Oh, it's the Rays prospects. So all of the pitching prospects on my Scott White Dynasty team.
Yeah, that'll be a
Are
fun
gonna be
box score
pitching.
for you to check out later on.
I have 4 or 5 Rays prospects among my 12 prospects in that league.
After JTR, Anthony Volpe and Bryce Terang.
This is the range of the draft where you are happy that you got your steals early.
Yes, some speedy. Oh,
There's Trevor McGill. Here you go.
Yeah, the
That
team.
was who we were debating
The
between
teams
McGill
after us, like there was 2 teams that didn't have a closer yet, and so I was worried about it.
Yeah. So.
Oh gosh. I've got it just an awful feeling. Just an awful.
Uh-huh. Well, if you'd rather do this, I like that also.
Oh gosh.
Oh,
Closers are
Romano?
going. Jordan Romano's gone too. Kodai Senga as well at the turn.
Yeah, this was always fated. Fated, not faded. It was.
If it was a starter, I would push for this person who I just moved to the top of the queue.
No.
Okay. Nice shot.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I can be overruled.
Chris, any input on your part?
I hope people aren't too frustrated hearing our coded language. We've kind of just. Are you reading off picks still, Frank?
There's no picks happening, Scott. When they happen, I read them.
Well, Trevor McGill, Kodai Senga, and Jordan Romano just went.
I read all those off. And then Pete Fairbanks goes.
The caliber of relievers being taken now.
Jason Dominguez as well, who hit a home run.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, I was almost thinking we were going to be backed into that.
We just got to do it, guys. Like all the alternatives are going ahead of him at this point.
Well, I think we got to take Robert Suarez.
Yeah, Christopher Sanchez was just went, so it's a moot point.
I think it's got to be Robert Suarez. I don't love that being our only save source so far, but
oh gosh,
he is.
Fairbanks is already gone. Romano's already gone.
He's our consensus 125th player. Our next highest is 134.
Everything both the Padres GM and the Padres manager have said there's nothing to see here at closer.
You know what, Frank? We'll give you the choice. It's either Suarez or Alexis Diaz.
I'm not giving that choice.
Thank you for the choice.
I'm not giving that choice. Suarez.
It's neither.
Suarez. You've been outvoted. It's Suarez.
Can I choose none of the above?
No, you've been outvoted. This is democracy manifest.
I feel like that's happened a little bit too much to me so far today.
Well, maybe you should be a better fantasy player. I don't know.
The assumption there, Scott, is that you are a better fantasy player.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Well, based on our auction teams the other day, you probably are, because that one I can't get over it. That
you've won Tout Wars more times than I've won Tout Wars.
It's a really hard thing to draft and host a podcast. As someone who's done it one time.
That's true.
I love the guy at the top of our queue now.
The next pick right after Robert Suarez, which I just cannot believe is on our team, but that's who we got, was Kenley Jansen, who is a closer. He's an old closer, but he's a closer. Eugenio Suarez, the pick after that.
So is it too early for that guy?
No, you're right.
That's our clear top player left.
Yeah, we should probably do that instead.
I think I would like to get back into pitching.
Me too, but
if we can,
we might be able to go pitcher and then that guy with the way.
I think it's more likely we can go that guy and then pitcher.
Well, yeah, there will be lots of pitchers. There's only one of that guy.
Oh, Urseg, I forgot about him.
Yeah, he usually goes a little later.
Instead of Suarez. No, we shouldn't have. Suarez is the right pick. I think Suarez is the right pick. I've always been the Suarez apologist.
Can we please take Jason Adam with one of our last picks?
Sure.
Pretty please.
That's probably doable.
Brandon Lau, by the way, just went 153rd. That feels higher than usual.
Yeah, that's a little higher than usual.
His ADP over the past week is round 16. We are in round 13. Could work out. Swamp Runner Field. Big power to the pull side there.
We still don't have a second baseman. FWIW.
That is true.
But there are some interesting ones. I'm not sweating it too much.
Kevin Gausman, next pick up. It's kind of been a mixed spring. I heard you talking about him earlier, Chris, during the draft that you were hosting. Kevin Gausman, velocity up this spring, but the splitter movement has been a little bit weird for Kevin Gausman.
Yeah, I can't tell how I feel about him. I want someone smart to tell me how I feel about him instead.
Paul Goldschmidt just went, who hit another home run in spring training today. Not that we want to put too much stock, obviously, but he's been good so far. Hopefully carries over into the season after a strong second half, looking for a full season bounce back from Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, and I think he can be a high 700s OPS bat. And in that lineup, that's probably going to mean 90 RBI and 80 runs, 10 stolen bases. I think he's okay. It's unexciting, but I think it's okay.
Saw a commenter said, "This is too much fun to watch." That is reassuring.
That's what we're going for.
As we obliquely refer to players between each other.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you know who they are, but yeah, maybe it's... No, I think like you said earlier, it's got the guessing game kind of makes it fun.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what
I'm talking
about.
We're kind of given like these coded clues. Frank likes them, but I don't. Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Don't like that last pick.
Bryson Stott and Alec Boehm.
No. Robert Suarez, the pick on our team.
Oh, right.
At the turn, it was Bryson Stott, Alec Boehm.
Yankees leadoff hitter Austin Wells off the board.
There you go. We get a little back-to-back Yankee picks, Goldschmidt and Austin Wells, to the same team there.
I'd rather have Real Muto.
Yeah.
I think so. Oh, we are... it's 8 o'clock.
Our guy's still there. I don't know. This might happen.
I don't even know who our guy is anymore.
Oh, you know who our guy
Frank.
is.
Come on.
Oh, thank gosh. We don't have to.
Brandon Nimmo goes. Oh, he suck.
That guy definitely listens to the podcast.
All right, what about the guy at the top of our queue now?
I think it's probably one of those three.
Let's do it. I know Chris is the harder sell.
I think I would take the guy at the top.
No, he's gonna wreck our ERA.
So we don't have like a great ERA base.
Right. I think we need to shoot for the stars here.
So that's a fair point. Paredes going off the board is crushing. I mean, he would have been a corner infielder, so
yeah, there are a lot. There are other.
Josh Lowe with the next pick, by the way.
Yeah, Frank and I like him. We do have 3 outfielders already and plenty of steals, so I'm not.
We only have 4 pitchers, so I feel like we build that up a little bit here.
How relieved are you that we're not going to have the Brandon Nimmo fight?
I don't think it was ever going to be a fight because based on democracy, I don't think you would have ever gotten him, Scott.
All right, are we doing it? I want him on a team that counts.
We're on the clock. I think we can get him with the next pick.
I don't think so.
We can take 2 pitchers in a row.
I mean, it's possible, but I don't want to risk it. I think this is a sneaky Cy Young contender.
My pick would be Carlos Rodon. Chris, what do you say?
ERA, Chris.
I'll go with Scott. I'll go with Gavin Williams.
Yeah.
All right.
We got to convert.
Come on down. Spring training riser. Gavin Williams as our
big riser there. 160th pick or something.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I like it. Sneaky Cy Young contender.
You know, I think we talked about this yesterday or on one of the previous podcasts, but I do have my spreadsheet and I'm trying to keep track of every pick, and I'm one pick off and I can't figure out who I missed, and it's driving me crazy.
I'm proud of you for being only one pick off. And by
I figured it out. It was Brandon Lau. I never marked off Brandon Lau. We're good.
Has Nick Pivetta gone?
No,
he is not.
Okay.
But that will.
It may have been a little early for Gavin Williams.
That was okay.
I'm not sure that Nick Pivetta will help our ERA costs.
No.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. It depends how much San Diego helps them. If that's the whole argument, right?
I have two names that I am thinking about. Let me add those to the queue. There goes
There's Rodon.
So yeah, all right. Well, Carlos Rodon has an amazing season. Just know who told you to take him. No, I don't have much faith in Carlos Rodon either. It's just I believe he was my highest ranked pitcher there.
He was our consensus highest ranked player by a decent margin.
Well, Scott wanted the upside.
Look, Chris voted. Chris had his say too.
That is true. I'm surprised, Chris. You're usually the Rodon guy.
This is democracy manifest.
But it was your vote. You were the deciding
vote. What are you talking
about? I'm glad you were. Don't get me wrong.
Who do I want to add here? Okay. I'm going to add this guy too.
No Jerks and Profar fight coming. It's probably for the best. Oh, I see. I see where I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I added two players to the top of the queue that I am thinking about here. After we took Gavin Williams, it was David Bednar, Michael Tolia, Carlos Rodon, Yusei Kikuchi, and we are into round 15. Nick Castellanos and Jurickson Profar. By the end of this round, we will be halfway through the draft. Exactly. What do you guys think about the players I added?
I get it.
Yeah.
I would probably prefer to go starting pitcher because we still need a lot of them. But let me see if there are any obvious values at starting pitcher. They're all kind of this spot on here in terms of where they need to go, if they should go.
We are not thinking hitter.
We are on the clock.
I did add a hitter.
Yeah, it seems. Is it too early for him?
It's early by ADP.
Yeah, it's too early.
Okay. Then my vote would be for Clay Holmes. Might be early.
That is a big admission.
Over Seth Lugo and Ronaldo Lopez?
Over Ronaldo Lopez for sure, yeah. My rankings don't necessarily reflect that, but yes.
So Chris came in as the low guy on Holmes.
I'm just saying our whip is a little scary because we have.
Well, if he's getting strikeouts, he's not going to be a whip problem.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Closer
I'm in on Holmes.
Let's do Holmes.
That's going to be the pick then.
Terrible pick.
Our whip could be a little questionable because we've got Valdez, Nola a little bit higher at this point. Gavin Williams, walks have been a problem in his career so far. Clay Holmes has been a whip guy, so
it's a bet on Holmes and
Lugo.
Williams taking steps forward for sure.
Oh, sorry. I don't know why I said Lugo. Holmes and Williams. Yeah, Gavin Williams.
The next pick was Taylor Ward, by the way. If either of the two names at the top of the queue make it back, can we take one of those? Chris, I know they're so unexciting, but it's just...
Well, you know who's good for whip?
I know who you're going to say.
I just moved him to the top of the queue. He's going to be way beyond ADP at that point, too.
This name also good for whip. I just added him to the bottom.
Yeah.
Not exciting, but...
All right, it was Nick Pivetta who I was talking about. He's gone now.
So there you go.
It sounds like you guys are not fully on board the Pivetta train.
I mean,
to be honest, he might have fit our team better than Clay Holmes. If we were just thinking about whip,
that's a fair point.
The thing is, The thing about a Clay Holmes pick and a Gavin Williams pick both is if what we're seeing this spring is true, they're just going to be good at everything.
Yes. No, that's always the thing when you're talking about breakouts is like, if Gavin Williams doesn't improve, then he's just bad.
Yeah.
So it's not really like his whip, like he's a whip specialist. It's if he's good, he's good. And if he's not, then it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I get the specific concerns about whip with the team that we've built. Yeah.
After Clay Holmes, we took Clay Holmes. There was Taylor Ward, Nick Pavetta, Seth Lugo, Brandon Pfaadt. So a pitcher run, and then Tommy Edman.
Yeah. We do only have 3 outfielders with the draft halfway done.
Mm-hmm.
We have no second baseman.
We have ignored outfield for quite some time now.
Good thing we took Dylan Cruz.
Yep.
His name should be Drew Cruz.
Do you ever like?
All right. There's still some kind of interesting outfielders left, though.
Yeah, outfield's okay. Do you guys ever think about the fact that like Dylan Cruz and O'Neal Cruz have the same last name, even though they don't?
Yeah, I was talking to someone and they were talking about Cruz, and my mind automatically went to O'Neal Cruz, but they were talking about Dylan Cruz. And
then Tom Cruise spells his name completely differently.
Oh man, that's a good point.
Couple picks here: Taj Bradley, Nolan Arenado, Christian Encarnacion Strand, Alexis Diaz. Encarnacion Strand, that's a big riser here with Spencer Steer potentially starting the year on the IL. And that sound you heard was Nico Horner.
That's disappointing and frustrating. I would have been very happy with Nico Horner as our second baseman. He would have fit. And I
don't think we have major batting average concerns at this point. We've done so much to reclaim that. And we definitely don't have a steals need that I'm seeing.
So you guys don't want Luis Arraez as our second baseman?
Well, we'll not right now. We'll see how far he falls. When does he normally go? Yeah, he should be gone by now.
How do you guys feel about Steer here? Like just where he
being
was
taken?
Yeah.
I think I'm fine with it. I need to move him up.
So it's 184th overall. So he has been a big faller.
Yeah, I still have him as a top 140 pick.
And we're getting shortstop run: Zach Neto, Jeremy Pena, Dansby Swanson, which is good for us because it
does not impact us at all.
Literally cannot take a shortstop.
Well, we can't.
Right, so
that's true. We can.
So do we take a closer now? Frank wanted us to last round.
I'm fine with taking a closer. I think Ryan Presley's a better pitcher than Kyle Finnegan.
Baseman in our queue, by the way.
Yeah, there are some upsidey second basemen. Still.
Yeah, I'd rather wait. Okay. If we were going to take a second baseman this round, it would have been Horner if he's there. Otherwise, I'm fine waiting.
Okay. Is this fall far enough for Ronaldo Lopez? By the way, he's falling quite a bit now.
I have no interest personally. I get it. Like where we have him ranked is a fine.
Let's
pick.
take a closer. Let's take a closer.
Which one do you guys want?
I'm fine with Presley. Yeah. I got a lot of Finnegan already, so let's diversify.
So we've got 2 closers, Robert Suarez and Ryan Presley. That never went wrong before. Never.
I don't love it.
It's gross. It's a little gross, but that is the opportunity cost. I mean, we had in our first 12 picks, 9 of them were hitters. So, I mean, at some point we had to load up on pitching. We didn't take our first closer until round 13. So we will hope and pray that they are their team's closers and they just do not get destroyed early in the season.
I mean, we might be able to get their backups.
Fair point indeed. Colton Cowser, the next pick here, 189th overall. Spencer Arrighetti, who I saw made a decent start today. I think it was like 4 innings, 1 run, 2 strikeouts or 3 strikeouts, something like that.
Guy's got a noodle arm.
Only one walk for Arrighetti, I believe, in that start. Lane Thomas, the next pick. What are you guys thinking here for us?
Let's get the other closer.
Oh, I mean, gosh. That would be quite the trio.
We could win saves.
We could, or we could have 0 closers by May.
Our
Wow.
ratios. Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
Kyle Finnegan, who we were thinking about like with Presley when we took Presley, but I was not thinking about double tapping both of them.
I'd like to get a third save source if possible. It doesn't have to be right now.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd rather wait.
Frankly, I'd rather get
Well,
I think we could get a fourth perspective save source.
They don't really have a choice on waiting at second base now because Andres Jimenez just went. At the turn, it was Kyle Finnegan and Mackenzie Gore.
Frank,
Freddie Yates just went too.
we got a couple of good second basemen here.
Yeah, I'm not worried about second base at all, actually.
Okay.
Um,
We're on deck. I like the 2 pitchers at the top of our queue, by the way.
I wouldn't say I like either of them,
All right, we are up.
but I
Mackenzie
understand.
Gore's gone, right?
Yeah, he just went.
He just went.
I
don't
think
think
I'm with you, Frank, on Reynaldo at this point. As much
It is a lot of. I mean, having him and Glassdown together, it's a lot of risk.
I'd rather take someone like Zach Eflin.
I like Evaldi too. Eflin's a good call. It definitely helps the whip. I like that too. If you want to play it safe with whip, I think Evaldi or Eflin is totally fine.
Is Evaldi that good for whip?
He was
111, 113
last
the last 2 years.
I guess he had exactly the same as Lopez last year.
And
yeah.
Lopez, I expect to be significantly worse.
And Eflin, I think, will be 115 or less.
Yeah.
I think it's between one of those two. I think we got to help the whip.
My vote's for Eflin.
Scott?
My vote's for Lopez.
All right. So then I will take Zach Eflin. I will agree with you there.
Yes. Oh, thank you. I was really worried you were going to make the wrong choice.
No, I think it's too much injury risk with Lopez and Glass now, and I think we needed whip help.
And his velocity's down this spring. I think there's a decent chance this is just an outright disaster season for Reynaldo Lopez, who
it was down in one start, to be
by the way, had a
after that, by the way, did we get an update?
no,
They Ronaldo?
no,
No? Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
but he had a 394 xERA last year. I really think he's just I think it was a total flash in the pan.
All right. Again, that's Ronaldo Lopez.
Persuaded by the big jump in strikeouts slate?
No, because it also came with shoulder and forearm injuries.
But he was healthy by the end.
Kerry Carpenter, Yandy Diaz, and Luis Ariz, the next 3 picks.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should have taken a rise. He fell a long way.
I just don't think we need it. But that is 5 pitchers in a row now for us.
Yeah, it is a lot of pitching.
Like we are, I think, 1 pitching spot in our lineup left to fill. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but we have 3 5-hitter spots left to fill too.
Yeah. I just added 2 names to the bottom of the queue. I don't know if either of you guys are interested in those.
I like the corner infielder.
They're both corners.
They're both corner infielders, Chris.
I like the corner infielder who has to throw more often.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of warming up to him. I mean, I guess I was never cold on him, but
Michael Garcia went as well. That was the next pick here.
I'm going to admit, I have not even thought about drafting Michael Garcia at any point this year.
yeah, me neither. He was in. My 14 most overrated by ADP came out today, and Michael Garcia was on that list.
Like,
I'm not even sure how much he's going to play.
Yeah, I think there's a decent chance he's not an everyday player.
Like he
we
might
are tied for the most pitchers rostered, by the way, so far.
Well, we went cheap, so I don't mind that.
Yeah. No, I'm just letting you know, catching people up. After Garcia, there was Yu Darvish and Nathan Evaldi. But you know what kind of reassures me? Everybody else in this draft room also passing on Ronaldo Lopez. We all know the same information, and they're all passing on him too.
There will come a point where we have to take him if that continues much longer. I thought we had already reached that point, frankly. But
Chris is so out.
Yeah, I don't.
That was me with Robert Suarez, though, and we still drafted him.
Yeah,
that's fair.
So, I mean, that's Chris has one vote, and his vote's an automatic no. So when Frank and I agree that it's time to take Lopez,
I do think
we'll
we have
take
to
Lopez.
I think we have to get back in on at least one hitter with these next 2 picks.
Yeah, I think we hit hitter for a little while.
Nick Lodolo at the turn looked very good in his start today as well. I think it was 4 shutout with 6 strikeouts.
I think the upside's still extremely high with Nick Lodolo.
Yep.
Byron Buxton. So that's a fun turn there.
I haven't looked at the data from Lodolo's start today. The results were good. Did the curveball seem to have its old movement back? Did either of you? I'm sure Frank didn't get a chance to look.
I didn't look at the StatCast. I just looked at like the general box scores.
Yeah, me too.
I'll take a look now. Yeah, curveball seemed fine.
That's good. That's encouraging because he hadn't had a good start yet, and I know that's probably a dumb reason to downgrade him. But given the way he finished last season, I really wanted to see some results from Lodolo.
11 whiffs on 66 pitches is about a 14% rate, maybe 15%, and 5 whiffs on 24 curveballs. It's a good start.
Yep. I definitely like the guys we have queued up over Luis Rengifo.
He did play in a minor league game.
Yeah, the last update is he'll get some at bats in a minor league game on Wednesday.
Yeah, so seems like he'll be ready.
Carlos Estevez goes. Was not to the team that had Lucas Erceg. Do you think people make too much of handcuffing relievers at times?
Well, you know what? Not in a 15-team league, but this isn't a 15-team league. I have to keep reminding myself that. I've never done a 12-teamer in this draft room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I also added a catcher to the queue.
Too early.
I like him, but I think it's a little too early.
Yeah, we got bigger needs, especially since we got we could use our last pick on a second catcher for all I care. I think Real Muto's the furthest ahead I've ever been in a 2-catcher league this year at catcher. That feels like such a luxury to me.
Okay.
I can be overruled, of course. That is how democracy works. But
Walker Buehler and Jorge Soler, the next 2 picks. Jorge Soler, someone I do like to approach 30 home runs this season.
Yeah, if you need a cheap source of power, which we don't really, he's one of the best ones out there, yeah. Although there is a better one out there, I think.
Is that who you just added to the queue?
Yeah. I added him.
There at the bottom.
Did we add him at the same
I
time?
hit the button literally at the exact same time.
That's who I would have pushed to take here. Crap.
Mountcastle?
Yeah.
No, we got a better corner infield option at the top of the queue. And I say that as the king of the Mountcastle.
Well, I like the second baseman. I just moved him behind.
Yeah, but there's a fallback second baseman.
Yep,
it's probably the same one Chris has in mind.
Okay,
I think Matt Shaw's
in mind. Yeah, I think Matt Shaw's
the better pick.
Okay, you don't think that we're taking too many young players? I mean, we have Cruz already. Again, I guess
that's one. Yeah. So now we'll have 2.
Yeah, Tristan and Ellie De La Cruz are young as well, but I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're established.
I don't think that's a concern.
De La Cruz is. Yeah, I think I think
you guys want Matt Shaw, right?
Yep, I think Shaw.
Okay.
Corner.
It's a fun team. If nothing else, it's a fun team.
Yeah.
We're having fun, guys.
And Scott's not the one who has to manage it, so.
Yeah. After
who is going to manage it?
I think Frank and I are going to talk it through.
Oh, gosh.
Frank's going to manage it.
Oh, no. I've got to be the one.
I just gave you a choice.
Oh, Jackson Holiday went right afterward.
Well, that's the
second baseman we were considering.
I was referring to, yeah.
His ADP was higher, so maybe we should have.
I'm fine with it.
He might be awesome this year.
Yeah, but he's
3 bases this spring.
He's still having some pretty bad plate discipline issues this spring.
Oh, Chris, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's striking out less than 25% of the time, Holiday.
Yeah. His swing rate is super high. It's like 60% so far.
I don't even know how to look that up for spring stats, so I'll take your word for it.
By the way, as we're talking about second baseman, I just saw Zach Geloff at the top. He has a 48% strikeout rate this spring.
He apparently remade his stance, which
It's
you
not
don't hear
working.
about as much anymore, right? I feel like growing up in the 90s, guys were changing their stances constantly. Like Brett Boone had a million different stances. Cal Ripken.
Isn't that the bull case for Ellie?
He shortened his swing more than changing his stance, but I guess that includes stance changes.
I just saw someone change their stance. Someone else. Did I add it to my notes? Let's see if I did. I probably didn't because I don't usually care about that, but nope. Oh, Pedro Pajes is trying to hit for more power, and he's changed his stance, but that probably doesn't matter very much.
All right, some fun picks here. After we took Shaw, there was Jackson Holliday, Cedon Rafaela, Ivan Herrera.
Who we kept telling Chris it was too early to take Ivan Herrera. But
and then into round 19, Gleyber Torres, Cedric Mullins, Jackson Jobe, and Tanner Houck. We are up.
All right, we need 2 outfielders still, and there is an outfielder who has really slipped.
He slipped a lot.
ADP.
Tyler O'Neill?
Yeah.
I prefer him to Delaire, who
was
upset about losing.
Where we are
He's going to be in the draft room.
We're getting a visit from Robo Scott. He is here in the NFBC draft room. How'd you get there? Who do you guys actually want, though?
Tyler O'Neill would be my pick.
Scott?
Looking up some ADPs real quick.
Our hitting is pretty safe as far as injury risks, so I think I'm okay taking that on Tyler O'Neill.
Let's do it. Good value. We need an outfielder. Let's do it.
Okay. Tyler O'Neill, come on down. I think we could have used some more power there too. So.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
What do you guys think about maybe this guy a little bit later to help offset some batting average?
Yeah, I like that one. I think the bottom 2 players in our queue should be helpful in both in that category.
Scott is out.
Well, we need a 5th outfielder, and there are just so many left that I can get more excited about. Like, I think TJ Friedel could help in batting average, right? What did he hit 2 years ago?
I think he was like
279.
Really?
Yeah.
226 last year, but he was playing hurt. So
yeah.
By the way, now that Ivan Herrera's gone, I'm totally fine waiting as long as Scott wants to on second catcher.
I mean, I like this guy too. For if you want to help boost batting average a little bit.
So my take on catchers in 2 catcher leagues is once you get past Langoliers, I can see upside in ones that are available after that. Like there are different degrees of upside, but in terms of most likely scenario, they're all like 240 with a dozen homers, 40 runs and 40 RBI.
I'm just much higher on Ivan Herrera than you are. I think Ivan Herrera is a legitimately good hitter.
Well, Paz is going to steal a lot of at bats from him, right? That's the problem. They like his defense so much more.
Sure, I think that's a reasonable, but I think Ivan Herrera is good enough to get DH at bats.
We have almost. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
I think the 2 best hitters in the Cardinals lineup might be catcher eligible. That's how much I like Ivan Herrera.
Fair enough. I just wish there wasn't the playing time concern.
Sure.
For him.
No, I think that's fair.
The Cardinals especially seem like an organization that values catcher defense.
After Tyler O'Neill, Josh Young, Ryan Jeffers, Tyler Stevenson, who is getting his back checked out.
Yeah, he fell a lot because of that.
Yeah, he might be fine, but it's kind of up in the air a little bit right now. Brendan Donovan and then Carlos Correa, and there goes my one of my batting average helps in the outfield. Jung-Hoo Lee
that was the player I was scoffing at.
I kind of like him, man. He might bat 3rd for the Giants.
I think he's a good value.
You know who's a good batting average help in the outfield? Is he already gone? Maybe he's already taken.
Well, that's why I wanted Jung-Hoo Lee.
Lourdes Gurriel is who I was going to say. Is he already gone?
He's gone. I was looking at him before he went at the previous turn.
Okay.
Then Matt Wallner and Reese Hoskins. So some power for Team 12 there.
Hoskins needs to start moving up.
He's having a very good spring.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what if last year was just him coming back from a torn ACL and he just wasn't himself, you know?
Right. No, I think that's a totally reasonable explanation. Yeah.
We discarded him too quickly.
Possibly, yeah. He's got 5 home runs and 25 plate appearances.
Guys, I think the guy at the top of our queue.
It might be time.
Yeah.
It might be time.
I really don't want to. I get it. I'm just really hoping someone else takes him.
Shane Baz, the next pick.
It could be a good
pick. I am becoming.
Chris is just gonna hope with every yellow sticker that pops up.
Please.
I have a really bad feeling about Shane Baz, you guys. I don't feel like there's a lot of negative attention surrounding him, but I just don't think he's the same pitcher anymore. I don't think he was last year.
It's been a really bad spring.
Well, yeah,
I hadn't realized that. Yeah,
the slider, he didn't throw it as much. It wasn't breaking as much. It wasn't that good coming back, and it was true in the minors too. Coming back from Tommy John surgery, he didn't really have the slider. He managed to pitch to an ERA around 3, but with a low strikeout rate, and now he's getting knocked around this spring.
Oh, that's fun. Jesus Luzardo just went.
Not Shane Baz getting.
No, not Shane Baz. Oh, there you go, Chris.
Oh, thank you.
Ronaldo Lopez is finally gone.
He was our top player for like 50 straight picks in the consensus rankings.
Yeah.
Could be a league-winning pick, okay?
It could be.
You just cost us the league.
Outside of the top 180.
I will give you credit. It could be a league winner.
So we should probably take our second baseman next, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there goes that.
Well, he just went Jonathan India. Great.
I did push for Jackson Holiday a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
who knows if Shaw would have made it back to us.
Then I'm fine waiting at second base for the other guy that's in our queue.
Yeah, there's no reason to reach for him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
We've said that before.
Well,
what
kind of relievers are left?
It's
Puck is still there, right?
Yeah, it's mostly speculative guys.
But Martinez is gone.
Yep,
Martinez is gone.
But if we like Puck, it's got to be soon. Or do we want to take the guy at the top of the queue, who I really like, but his ADP's lower, and you understand why?
Yeah, I don't. I'd rather go the reliever route.
Is Puck the best one there?
Yeah, who would be your pick, Chris?
Foley and Fauché are still there. They tend to go later. We don't need to take them now.
Yeah, I think Puck is a better pick there.
I think I'm good with Puck as well. Scott?
Is Barrios there?
Yeah, but...
Or do we take the one I just moved to the top so we just lock it up?
I'd rather have Puck.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it's too early for that guy.
AJ Puck, come on down.
Yeah, Porter Hodge is the other guy, and I'm fine saying the name because
you don't like him at all. I know.
Well, it just
what do you do?
It's really early for a guy who really doesn't have any kind of track record outside of the 30 innings he threw at the major league level last year.
It would have been way ahead of ADP to take him.
And it's not like his minor league track record is super great. And he's not a closer. So I feel like AJ Puck is just a better player. And if I'm going to take a non-closer, it's got to be someone who I'm very confident is good. And I'm not with Porter Hodge.
Fair. All fair points. Catch people up on picks. Before AJ Puck, there was Drew Rasmussen, Garrett Mitchell, Jonathan India. Next 2 picks after we took Puck, Reese Olson and Connor Wong.
The Red Sox big 3 have all homered today now.
Oh,
that's what you want to see out of the prospect showcase game.
That is fun. Wow. Very nice. The big 3, by the way, being Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, and Roman Anthony.
Yep.
Who, I mean, of the 3, Christian Campbell is the most likely to be on the opening day roster, but I think we'll see all 3 at some point this season.
Nobody else in the lineup even has a hit.
That's the future. The future is bright for the Red Sox. The future is now, by the way. I mean,
they all might be major league ready. Yeah.
This is 100% me just being like the Yankees pessimist. I think the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox are going to win the division.
I don't.
Why Sean Manaea?
I think their pitching is going to be a problem.
And Foley goes. So
Jason Foley, Sean Manaea, George Springer.
I think the Red Sox are going to be a team to target in DFS games on both sides.
Yeah, just every game is like
a lot of big crooked numbers on both sides.
Just like Coors Field, playing in Coors Field all the time.
I mean, Fenway's the second best hitting park in baseball.
There you go.
All right.
Michael Busch. Back to Busch.
We are missing a second baseman, a catcher, and an outfielder still in the lineup.
I'd be feeling really good about Michael Busch right now if they hadn't signed Justin Turner. I've said it a few times over the years. As somebody who followed Michael Busch's prospect ascension, his very slow prospect ascension, I followed it very closely. He would, every time he got to a new level, he'd struggle for months, and then he'd just look like the best player in the league. And if that sort of adjustment trajectory follows him to the majors, I don't think he's going to be the best player in the league, but he could have a big sophomore season.
I think we could use some power.
Okay.
I was thinking, we're on the clock, by the way. The last couple picks were Grant Holmes and Jeffrey Springs. I did groan a little bit at the Grant Holmes pick. I want to get him everywhere this season, but I have him in a lot of spots. Just will not be in this one.
Jose Barrios.
I'd rather go outfield, and I'd rather go with the top guy on our queue currently.
It's early by ADP.
By
about 30 spots.
I would vote for who I just moved to the top of the queue. I know you guys like waiting. No. I think we could use a little bit more batting average personally.
I'm not confident he's going to give it to us.
Yeah, I'm fine skipping that one.
All right. So what do you guys want?
Oh, Conforto, Frank?
Yeah, Conforto would be my pick.
Conforto or Barrios?
I'm good with Conforto. So
seems early, but I do like him.
Yeah, but once you're at this point,
get your
30 picks in ADP is very little.
Oh, I was about to make a different suggestion.
Sorry, we only had like 8 seconds left.
I understand.
Yep.
I just moved into the top of the queue.
Yeah, I added him as well. So I would be down with that next pick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Clark Schmidt, who went from the SP5 to SP3 for the Yankees this season. Oh, man.
I mean, look, you're talking about the Red Sox winning the division. Well, Richard Fitz went from like SP7 to SP4.
Yeah, that is.
Is fair. Conforto really the better choice than Elliot Ramos?
I think so.
He might be. Elliot Ramos, by the way, they said might lead off against left-handed pitching for the Giants. He had something like an 1,100 OPS against lefties last year, but I think it was sub 700 against righties.
Mm-hmm.
That is a player we have not talked about all season, Jake McCarthy, who is not exciting, but he could provide like 30 steals with an average that doesn't kill you, like 250, 260.
Yeah, I just think that's all it is.
Yeah, he's going to give you no power, like maybe 8 to 10 homers.
And very little counting stats.
So the last two players to go were Elliot Ramos and Jose Barrios. Feel like Siri's listening in. I don't know.
Jake McCarthy played 142 games last year. He was healthy all year. 66 runs, 56 RBI, 25 steals. It's fine if you need steals. I just don't think we need them.
Do we put Matt Shaw in the lineup for the Tokyo series?
If he's active, yeah.
Who else are we going to put in for the Tokyo series, Frank?
That's what I'm thinking about.
Michael Conforto.
Yeah,
that's true.
They play different positions, so I think we're okay. So Max Scherzer was the guy who said we probably should have been looking closer at him when I was pushing for Jose Barrios.
Yep. Pitchers are starting to go again here.
Yes, Grayson Rodriguez is still out there. There's TJ Friedel, who I've wanted
in the chat. In the chat, by the way, it's a good point here. They point out the Tokyo series is a free look. So
right.
Basically, no, you could choose to like even after the games happen, you could take those players out of your lineup. So if they do nothing, you could still take them out of your lineup. Yeah.
Chris, I know you hate the pitcher I just added, but this is way.
He just got drafted? Oh no, you just moved him up.
I just moved him up. Actually, his ADP has been falling. He hasn't pitched well this spring. I don't think it really means anything. But
yeah, if you guys want him, I won't fight against it. I don't think it's a particularly interesting one.
I just kind of want a gimme a pitcher. We passed up so many gimmies already between Reynaldo and Jose Barrios.
What about
I think there's still gimmies. I'm adding some gimmies to the list if you want some gimmies.
Well, I don't know what you mean by gimme.
I just threw a name.
No, Mitch Keller is ugh.
Whoa.
How if you take out his 4 worst starts, he was probably better than Ronel Blanco.
You got to take out more than 4. Look at.
I'm adding a bunch of names to the queue, so don't mind me.
Yeah.
I threw somebody at the top there. I don't know how you guys.
I'd be fine with that.
I don't think he's going to be durable. I don't think he's going to win many games. I think it's a lot of salivating over data and not a lot of substance to it.
But besides all that, how is the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Well, what about the vibes, Scott? At some point, we got to draft vibes.
Well, you guys get your wish. Ronel Blanco was just taken. I thought it was.
It might be. I just,
great value.
I'm not excited to take him, but it could be a blind spot in my analysis on him. I certainly realize that.
I think he's a low upside pick who doesn't have a high floor.
Well, if we're worried about whip, do we want to gamble on this guy who's been falling this spring? But
yeah, I'd be fine with that. I added him to the queue earlier.
He is got to be one of our highest ranked players available.
Yeah,
he is the top player on our consensus ranks. Yes,
I've backed off a little bit. I mean, he's looked bad this spring.
Everybody's backed off a little bit. That's picked 260.
Yeah.
No, I'd be fine with it.
I think we should. I think we should give ourselves. Look, he may be a total bust, but I think you expect that at pitcher. You got to expect some of them are going to bust, so you need to give yourself options.
That's
Francis
why
is who we're
I would
talking
rather
about.
have gone with him than Blanco because I think there's at least the theoretical upside where I don't think that's there for Blanco.
I think
Blanco just did the upside. So.
I know, but it wasn't real.
I would still vote for the second guy in the queue, but
no.
if I'm outvoted, then
I'd rather have Francis.
Yeah, I'd go Francis.
All right.
Lighten up, Francis.
That's me. A couple other picks that have been happening. Before Francis, there was Colt Keith, Andrew Vaughn, Ronel Blanco, Trevor Story, Nestor Cortez, Joey Bart, and Zach Geloff. Brandon Woodruff. What is the latest on Brandon Woodruff? I think he was supposed to pitch in a minor league game, right?
He pitched in a minor league game. I think he was sitting like 92, 93.
Not great. At his best, he was sitting 96? Yeah.
And he's been so fastball dependent. That's kind of actually that's a comp I haven't made before, but Brian Wu is kind of Brandon Woodruff E.
Whoever just moved that player to the top of the queue, I think that is the move.
That was me. Yeah, I think it's time.
Yeah, sure.
A couple other picks, Jesus Sanchez and Lars Nootbaar.
Brandon Woodruff will make his Cactus League debut against the Guardians on Sunday, by the way.
Will he be in the opening day rotation or
who was that?
Brandon Woodruff.
Oh.
I think there's a chance he could be like the second turn through.
Okay.
I don't know how their schedule lines up.
I know they start the season in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, he was never going to pitch in that series.
Right.
He said that back in like January.
Oh, you know what'll be fun? I don't know if he's one of their top 3, but Nestor in Yankee Stadium revenge game in the first series would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Maybe not for his ERA. I mean, he's a fly ball pitcher, but
yeah.
I still.
Which guy?
I like this guy that I just put at the top too.
Yeah,
I like him.
I'm looking a little closer at him now.
Well, maybe we shouldn't mess around. I don't know.
Is it the catcher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. He has had a decent spring, right?
He's got a job, you know.
He had a decent stretch after he was.
If you guys want to, I'm fine waiting. But if you guys want to, I won't fight it.
I feel like the second baseman is the higher impact player.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I love our alternatives there.
Right.
I mean, there's this guy who I just added to the queue.
Second base is starting to kind of.
There's Nolan Gorman also, but I think he could.
I think that's a last round pick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Alejandro Kirk just went, so that was the catcher we were considering.
We're taking Tyro Estrada.
Shouldn't have said his name, man. We shouldn't have been talking about him.
Did you say his name? Nobody said his name.
Yeah, but I guess talking about the position might have gave it away. I mean, I like Estrada a lot too. Don't get me wrong, but I was trying to get these guys to draft Kirk for like the past 5 rounds or something. So, all right.
There is the ultimate
second base. You guys are okay with that guy?
Tyro Estrada.
Yep.
Yeah, I think. Look, Willie Castro's still there. Christian Campbell's still there. Jake Cronenworth's still there. And I kind of like Cronenworth for our bench, but
yeah, I would like to grab a second baseman on the bench just so maybe we play the matchups when Tyro Estrada's away from cores.
Mm-hmm.
Worth mentioning that in the NFBC for those watching or listening who aren't aware, they do Monday, Friday lineup setting for hitters, so you can more so play the matchups and
even more so with Coors Field. I think
if the Rockies are home and away, or if there's a lefty hitter versus 3 righties, stuff like that. So
should we have taken Willie Castro instead of Tyro Estrada?
Nah,
I don't think so.
So we are all down on him relative to the consensus. I'm often surprised by how early he goes. He is eligible at 3 positions.
Ryan Weathers just went. That's who I wanted over Bowden Francis.
That's who I said was a lot of salivating over data, but I don't think a lot of substance there. Ryan Weathers.
I think he's good, man. 98 from the left-hand side with a sweeper with a 50% whiff rate.
Yeah, with like 18
a lot of
inches,
data points.
18 inches of inverted vertical break. He also,
I mean, he was good last year. He wasn't amazing, but he was good.
He got off to a really bad start, but he was overall, I mean, 3.63 ERA. You hope for more strikeouts, but the control was good. And he had a really good stretch in like May where he had, like May to June.
I think he had 2 double-digit strikeout starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who I think we should think about next?
Who's that?
Top of the queue, baby.
Maybe.
Yeah. I
mean, at this point, by
opening day, players are getting drafted at this point.
By opening day, we might drop them, but let's take a shot. Yeah. Might be worth it. And he's on our bench, so we're not depending on him or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Down.
There's also this whip help here, but I think it's a little early for him.
If you trust the things that he did last year to remain.
I picked 275 to 300.
Yep.
I trust in as much as anyone I can trust here.
Let's catch people up on picks for those listening. Round 23 is the one that we're in. There's Bo Naylor, Kumar Rocker, Connor Norby, Alejandro Kirk. We selected Tyro Estrada, our starting second baseman on this team. Willie Castro, Ryan Weathers, Alec Burleson, Parker Meadows, Griffin Jacks, Dustin May, Evan Carter. That's the entire round. And now we're into round 24, and Mitch Keller was the first pick there. Dustin May, kind of a sneaky one, potentially.
Mm-hmm. 4 1/3 inning pitcher.
He might be, yeah. I don't know what the workload's going to look like for him.
4 1/3 innings for 75 innings. That's what I'm expecting.
I brought up that exact thing to Nick Pollock the other day. He does think that the fact that he's a ground ball pitcher could help Dustin May's efficiency.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. Like he has
Come on, man.
he gives zero credit to injury risk, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he's more ranking talent than.
Yeah, I think
Which
he's got
fine.
Jacob deGrom top 5 this year. I think.
But
I will say I would have liked to have taken Evan Carter for our bench. It was a good pick there. End of the 23rd round.
I wish he'd do anything
Something.
this spring to convince me his back was okay, because he was saying at the start of spring he wasn't very reassuring about the back when he was talking about it. I don't remember exactly what Evan Carter was saying, but basically it's something this is as good as it's going to get, so I'll have to manage it, that kind of stuff.
Doesn't sound great.
There's Grayson Rodriguez. That's who I moved to the top of the queue.
Yeah, we were thinking about it. Some interesting picks at this point in the draft. We're in round 24. Lots of pitchers going here. Ranger Suarez, Merrill Kelly, Grayson Rodriguez, all in a row there.
Our only hitter spot is catcher, right? In our actual lineup. We could take bench ones, obviously, and we will at some point.
Yeah. So what about this guy who I just moved to the top?
No,
No?
I think it's too much of a crapshoot for this league.
Well, we could just take his backup with one of the last picks, no?
Oh, sorry. I needed to scroll up to the top of the queue. No, you're right. That's who I want for our second catcher. I just I don't think it's anything we have to worry about yet.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. You might be right.
I think the more whip help is where I'd lean here. But that's just me.
Chris, what are you thinking? I was thinking about that. Justin Verlander just went, and Christopher Morel, we are up.
I missed one.
So the whip help I keep referring to, should I name him now or no?
You can.
Do we think we're going to take him?
I'm
No.
not the biggest fan of him, but if Chris is, I mean,
I think Chris likes him.
I'm
Don't
fine
you,
with it.
Chris?
Yeah. I think it's fine.
Martinez.
what about this player who I just moved to the top instead?
Yeah, I would like to get him with the next pick.
Yeah, I think it could be both.
Way. Yeah.
Both?
I think Nick Martinez is the higher priority pick.
Okay.
But if we could get that other guy with the next pick, totally on board.
There are some reliever specs out there too.
Yeah, we'll come around to them. I don't think it's as urgent.
Oh, okay. Round 24.
You tired,
Thanks.
Frank?
It's been a long day. Thanks everyone for hanging out and watching. Still, we are over 6 hours into our mock draft mega stream, and 2,400 people. That is quite a few. So thank you all for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 31K by opening day. That's what we've been saying all off season. So let's try and get us to 31K by opening day. Past 30K today. That was awesome. Some more pitchers. I mean, there's a lot of pitchers this round. After we took Martinez, Max Meyer, Edwin Uceta, and Michael Lockwood. Should we have been talking about Max Meyer?
I think it's the same situation as Weathers.
Scott just hates the Marlins.
He really does.
Well,
What have they ever done
do
to
I
you
have-
besides knock you out of the playoffs in 1997?
is it wrong to hate the Marlins? Is that so wrong?
Probably not.
If
I mean,
hating the
I
Marlins
hate
is
them.
wrong, I don't want to be right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The last pick of round 24 was Luke Raley. A little bit of power and speed there. I think he has dual eligibility, corner and outfield. Bubba Chandler. I do want to talk a little bit about Bubba Chandler because Bailey Ober. What am I thinking?
Bailey
Bailey Falter was scratched from his start today. Now, Bubba Chandler was not great in spring. He's one of their top prospects. I think they would rather slow play it with him.
Mm-hmm.
But if Bailey Falter is hurt, there's a chance with Bubba Chandler, right?
Yeah.
He'll eventually be up this season. I just have no idea when, because I don't
just
think
there's a chance that it's like if Bailey Falter has a big injury,
Yeah, it could be soon.
Day rotation.
Well, what alternatives do they have? They don't have Luis Ortiz anymore.
They do not have a lot of depth there.
DJ Hers, that's yesterday's sleeper right there.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he's going to make the roster.
I'm pretty sure he's not.
Yeah, I think he has more walks and strikeouts this spring.
It's not what you want.
Yeah, maybe they don't have as much boring pitcher depth as I thought because they lost Johan Oviedo.
Right.
All right, JJ Bledegos, Chris Bubich, right? That's who we're hoping to get on the way back.
Are we good with that?
I'm good with it.
Pitcher upside.
So the only thing is Bubba Chandler's not on the 40-man roster. I would guess the next guy up is, I don't know if they have like a viable option in the bullpen that they could turn to. So you got to look at the minor leagues, and it's Mike Burrows is on the 40-man roster, I guess.
Wow, they have no depth.
Yeah. It's a good thing they're wasting a healthy Paul Skeens season.
Yeah. You're telling me they're not going to win every game 1-0, Chris? They don't have a bullpen either. I mean, David Bednar looks like crap again. Maybe I'm overreacting, but look, after a season like he just had, I'd rather him look good in spring than not.
Especially since they haven't been.
They
didn't come out right away and say David Bednar's definitely our closer. They made a point not to say that. So, I generally think you should just ignore closer performance in spring training, but I think Bednar specifically had a lot to prove.
All right, last couple picks. Joey Ortiz, David Peterson, Aroldis Chapman, one of those closer specs off the board. Tyler Soderstrom, maybe gains catcher eligibility this season. There's talk that he could be the backup catcher for the A's. I almost said Oakland. Not Oakland. Okay. David Peterson's actually looked pretty good this spring. I don't know that we've talked about him at all. He was great last year, but in a way that we don't think is sustainable, I guess.
If I would consider David Peterson's good spring notable if he was suddenly missing a crap load of bats.
That I can't tell you. If I don't think that has been happening, but
no, he hasn't been particularly impressive.
Okay. We are coming up on round 26. We have 5 rounds left. NFBC Rotowire Online Championship. 12-team league. We're competing in this league and in an overall contest as well. So taking a little bit of upside here. And first pick of round 26 is Hayden Birdsong, followed by Will Warren.
I just moved a Marlin toward the top of our queue. I don't know how you guys feel about that one.
Ooh, there's the 4th pitcher in the queue. I find very interesting as well.
I think his ADP is really late.
Yes.
But not as late as I thought, but later than now.
What about this one too? I just moved to the top.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, I think that might be the one.
Yeah, I'm fine taking that shot.
Or Chris, or this one. Which one do you like more? Because I know you like both.
Well,
the cryptic.
There's also this guy.
No,
that's just, with our I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible.
I mean, at this point, you're just taking flyers on what might work out.
Well,
I'd rather go the guy at the top right now.
I don't think this one at the top that I just moved to the top is really a flyer. I think he'll be useful. Oh, well, he's gone. Tomoyuki Sugano.
Tomoyuki Sugano.
All right. I don't know that I think we can wait another round for the other guy. I'm thinking either him or him. I'm thinking either the Brave or the Marlin.
I like the top name.
Yeah, let's go with the Brave.
Yeah, you're good with it?
Yep.
All right. Well, welcome to the squad, Sean Murphy. Oh,
where did the Marlin go?
Did he get drafted?
No.
Someone X him out by accident?
Did you take him out of the queue, Chris?
It wasn't me. I haven't been touching the queue.
It was
Marlins hater, Chris Towers. All right, he's back in.
What about this one too? I just moved to the top.
I have no idea what Bruce Bochy is thinking.
There goes. We're not getting Drake Baldwin with Sean Murphy.
Yeah. Cam Smith went too, so that was
Chris. You know who we could take?
Victor Scott. These are some really interesting picks.
Yeah, a lot of upsidey guys getting taken just now.
He fits waiting on Sean Murphy. It's Luis Torrens.
Oh,
Come on. Get this Luis Torrens thing out of here.
I like doing it to mess with you.
If we were going to do, I added the two catchers I would want here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just wait till the last round now.
Yeah.
To be honest.
To get the fill in for Sean Murphy.
I
added a third catcher.
I added a fourth catcher. That one all the way on the bottom, by the way. No, not all the way on the bottom. The Tampa Bay one. Is
I think we can say their names there.
Danny Gantz is having a good spring.
Yeah.
Couple
I added
picks.
Travis d'Arnaud in case.
Interesting picks. After we took Sean Murphy, there was Cam Smith, Drake Baldwin, Victor Scott, Orion Kirkering, Jose Soriano, Porter Hodge, Jock Peterson, who maybe could gain first base eligibility.
He might Kerry Carpenter, but 80 picks later.
He might be.
All right. So the fact Porter Hodge went, we can't fortify Ryan Presley with him. I think we got to take one of the top two in the queue. It's just a question of which one. What do you guys think? I
kind of like the starter.
I think we could get him on the way back, the starter.
Let's go with the Marlin. Let's go with Calvin Fauché.
Calvin. Well, we're not up yet.
Let's not go with Calvin Fauché. Nobody should draft. He stinks, actually. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
We would never draft that guy. Ever.
Ryan Bloomfield and was it Bubba?
Casey Bubba, yep.
Casey Bubba. They were doing the live stream for my Tout Wars draft, and they kept referring to Calvin Fauché as the doctor. And I was like, the doctor? Why is he the doctor? And then finally, I got it when they called him Calvin Foucher.
I still don't get it.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
Is there a Dr.
Dr. Foucher?
Oh, okay. I get it.
Matthew Boyd just went, we're on the clock. Is that who you guys want, by the way?
Yeah. Yep. The doctor.
The doc is in the building for maybe the worst team in the National League this season.
Maybe the worst team in the whole league. Let's not.
Maybe the worst team in MLB history.
And the other player we were thinking about went with the next pick, Chris Martin.
Yeah. So Chris Martin, if he's the closer, is clearly better.
Yeah.
But
although he's weird, like his performance is different every year.
And he's on a much better team. Like it's
I kind of think we should have taken Chris Martin.
I kind of think so too.
That was again me in 15-team mindset, and like I can't mess up the saves. When in a 12-team mindset, I think we could gamble a little more
on the skills or whatever.
Yeah, because there will be emerging save sources on the waiver wire.
Are there any other closer specs? Because we still have 2 weeks from now till opening day, so we could take some shots and see if just more information comes out about specific bullpens. You know,
we got 3 saves, guys, so I'm not stressed about it. The Rockies, we could speculate on them. We could get Robert Garcia or any of the other obscure names Bruce Bochy's floated out there.
Mark Church.
Yeah. I don't think we need to do that. There's only so many bench spots. I think 3 leading saves guys to begin the year. Hopefully 2 of them hold on to their jobs. And if so, we'll be in good shape.
Well, I like that. Whoever just added that.
That was me.
I like it.
Yep.
Let's go. Those next two picks.
And then the catcher and then a backup catcher would be our next pick. So we don't have any hitters on
no bats on the bench. Yeah.
If we were to take those 2 pitchers,
I think we got to choose between one of those.
So what bats should we be queuing up here? I like Jonathan Aranda, and we got Tristan Casas as our first baseman. That's a little questionable.
I would say we need an outfielder.
There are 5
outfielders with Tyler O'Neill,
right?
A multi-eligible guy would be ideal.
It's
Dylan Moore.
someone I just added there.
Yeah. If Jeff McNeil hadn't gotten hurt, I would say him.
Ooh, I found one.
Do I like him more than Pages?
I like him a lot.
Is he going to play every day?
I think so, at least according to Roster Resource.
There's been a lot of buzz about him working on his swing to
He can't platoon everybody,
Don't know.
tap into his pull side power again, and he's been having a good spring.
The top of the queue, Chris. I'll catch people up on picks.
Okay.
After we took Calvin Fauché, there was Chris Martin, Tobias Myers, Kyle Harrison, Jamison Tyone, Joe Adele, Jacob Young, Cade Smith. We're into round 28. AJ Smith-Shawver battling for a rotation spot. Jack Leiter could be on the opening day rotation with Cody Bradford starting on the IL. Chris Bassett, and then
I will just point out.
Don't.
There is a catcher.
Who's outfield
who is
eligible?
Outfield eligible.
Yeah.
Who I like a lot as a number 2 catcher.
You know what? I almost wonder if we don't draft a catcher and then we just pick one up before on the first waiver run. Like why waste a spot now if it's just going to be a catcher?
Well, because we'll have to use at least one fab dollar to get him.
That's fair.
And it's not like there's it's not like a spot's going to open up because somebody goes on the IL. There's no IL in this league.
Yeah.
I still think we wait till the last round for our catcher.
Yeah,
I agree. We're just going to have to duke it out over whether it's Travis d'Arnaud, Hunter Goodman, Patrick Bailey, or Danny Jansen.
Yeah.
Are we the only team with only one catcher? We
have 2. Just one's hurt.
There's one other team that only has one catcher.
Who?
And there are still.
There
are still like
Raleigh.
Multiple catchers that we're fine with, though.
Can we afford to take any pitcher?
I like loading up the bench with pitchers, I think, but
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, we have 4 already.
If we don't take a second baseman, there's no sitting Tyro Estrada.
Yeah, that's true.
Is there one worth taking, though?
I mean, Dylan Moore is eligible everywhere. He's Dylan Moore, though.
I think there are still at least 3 second basemen who I don't hate starting.
This one's kind of interesting, too.
The fact Pages just went, I think we got to take the other outfielder because
I'm in.
It's not pretty otherwise.
The one we have at the top of the queue, yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Max Kepler. So that's who I was referring to. Kevin Long is he's still the Phillies hitting coach, right?
That sounds right.
And he's a well-known one, and he's been working on Kepler's swing. And Kepler was another guy coming back from, I hope I have this right, knee. He was coming back from knee surgery last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really good in 2023, and the underlying numbers were quite impressive.
Yeah.
After we took Max Kepler, Heston Kjerstad, Chandler Simpson, Ben Brown, Luis Severino, Jason Adam. We will not get the Padres.
Okay.
Yep.
So
there's that.
We either take like a Jonathan Aranda, I think, which I could get behind.
We only have 2 picks left.
I do think Scott brings up a good point about second base, though.
Well, Aranda might eventually be eligible at second base. He's been playing it a lot this spring.
What? I mean, he doesn't. There's not much upside here, but what about this player? Because it covers our corner and it covers Casas if he's hurt or bad, I guess. He's not exciting, but I mean,
I think having an option to slot in where for Estrada is more important than a backup corner.
Well, then,
but the second basemen are pretty bad.
My pick would be this guy at the top.
I think, I think he was pretty good last year.
2-homer game the other day.
He's got 3 of them this spring.
I'm not super confident he'll be better than Tyro Estrada on the road.
I'm pretty.
He might be right about that, Scott.
And
his quality of contact metrics weren't bad last year.
Meanwhile, we have a couple of high upside pitchers that we like.
What about this one at the top of the queue?
I'm not convinced he's good either. Like there are a lot of second basemen who I can squint and say I could see them being good, but
What about this?
Are we going to fight over the second to last pick?
Really good second half. He's in a very good ballpark. He's going to be eligible fairly early on.
Will he play enough?
I think he's going to play fairly regularly.
Well,
You sure you don't want a pitcher? You sure? So it's Mike Soroka, it's Zebby Matthews, it's Gavin Lux, it's Caleb Durbin, it's Otto Lopez.
Look, you know what? Let's take the pitcher. I think let's take the pitcher, and if something happens by opening day, we could drop someone and
that's
pick
what
up
I'm thinking.
Like we could pick up any of these second basemen.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
You know, if these pitchers continue to have awesome springs, then like
right. If Soroka
might go for on a fab.
If Soroka keeps lighting it up,
let's go Soroka.
Which one?
Yeah. Soroka.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, for that matter, we could do the same thing with second catcher, like you were proposing, Frank.
Yeah, I'm not opposed. And then
we take the other pitcher. See if he makes the team. What do you think?
Take who?
Take the other pitcher.
Zebby Matthews.
Pull this up a little bit so everyone can see.
Sure.
We're leaving it to fate. If somebody wants to scoop him out from under us, somebody took Gavin Lux right after we took Soroka.
Yep, I would have liked Gavin Lux.
Don't think I didn't notice that.
I don't think we ever said his name though.
Oh, I did. I said all the names.
I was trying to sabotage it.
Scott, sabotage.
Nolan Gorman's still out there too. You mentioned that as a potential last round pick, Chris. Well, it's the last round.
Couple picks here. Jordan Walker, Nick Gonzalez.
Do we really need hear me out? Do we really need a fill-in catcher for Sean Murphy? Can we go with an empty second catcher spot for 2 weeks? Hopefully just 2 weeks.
I would prefer not to, just because
catchers
that are available, I think could still provide something positive.
Yeah, true.
It's not like if it was a 15-teamer, I might just say, let's take it 0. But in a 12, some of these guys could still
give
me a little something.
So we got one more pick. Do we take the backup second baseman we want? Do we take Zebby Matthews? Or do we take the backup catcher we want?
I think a catcher.
Casey Mize is kind of an interesting pick there, too.
Yeah, that's a good one. Casey Mize, Richard Fitz, back-to-back. Those were pretty good. Michael McGreevy might take time off from being the lead guitarist for Pearl Jam to start for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Now, hear me out. Because there's going to be a waiver run before the season starts, right?
Yep. I hope so.
If we've been worried about whip, we've been addressing whip. You know who has elite control? Zebby Matthews. Maybe we end up having to drop him. If he doesn't make the Twins rotation, obviously we drop him.
I think Scott wants to drop Zebby Matthews.
Just hear me out.
You don't have
to Zebby Matthews.
You don't have to convince me, Scott. I'm in.
Okay.
Danny Jansen.
Because we could take a flyer on any of these second basemen or catchers, which I shot down when you first brought it up, Frank. But
yeah, I mean, if it costs us $1 in a long season with $1,000 fab, it's not.
Any of these guys could get injured in the next 2 weeks, and then
right.
Any of these pitchers, it'd be nice to have. It'd be nice not to have to compete for the replacement. It's going to be stressful figuring out who to drop if they're all healthy.
Well, we do also already have 4 pitchers on our bench, so we don't need a replacement if it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I just don't know. The only hitter left whose upside really excites me is Aranda, but I don't think I'm going to win you guys over to that one. So
I'm fine with it being Matthews.
And the last picks were Reed Detmers, Miguel Vargas, Hayden Wesneski, Danny Jansen, Brandon Marsh. So are you guys good with Zebby Matthews?
Zeb it up.
Let's do it.
Boom. All right. How'd we do? Is our team good?
I'll let you know in September. All right.
So we're managing this team.
It was a fun draft.
Some combination of Frank and I will be managing the team.
We'll figure it out.
Let's go through it.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a good amount of other NFBC teams, so I I'll be setting all of my NFBC lineups anyway, and so
I've got
Okay.
three.
I'll
That's
make sure it's at least set.
I have some investment in this team now, so I don't want to completely turn my back on it, but I don't.
Yeah. Once we took Gavin Williams in round 14, Scott's like, all right, I'm in.
I don't want it to be like when the family gets a pet, it always falls back on the dad to take care of it. I don't want it to be that kind of situation where it always falls on Scott White to take care of it.
No, it's almost all the teams that I share with people, it usually always falls on me. And I'm not going to let us take a 0. Don't worry. We'll be all right.
All right, we are tied for the most pitchers and the fewest outfielders.
Tied for the most pitchers. I'm surprised somebody tied us because we only have one hitter on our bench, right?
I'm going to stop sharing for a second, just so I can
15 pitchers.
Pull up the actual NFBC website so we can look through the team. Okay.
One listener thinks we may have salvaged the team
with all the pitchers.
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know what it was that turned him around.
We were stinking it up early.
What do we do?
It was the Calvin Fauché pick in round 25 that really
right. We're gonna win saves now. 3 closers. Who can say that?
Yeah, I think our ratios are a little sus, but
that's why we got so many pitchers, Frank, to try to. No, I don't know about that.
I think if our pitchers pitch well, we'll have good ratios.
I think, and I've seen this, people reacting this way to my TGFBI team too. I don't think they're appreciating just how globby the good glob is. So they see my number 1, 2, and 3 pitcher numbers 25, 26, and 27 in the rankings. And they're like, oh, your pitching's not good. But really it might as well be pitchers 15, 16, and 17 in the rankings because it's a glob and they're basically the same.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm still working on trying to pull up our team.
I can share everybody's team, which has ours by position. Although I do have to be careful not to show team names.
I've got it here, Chris.
All right.
Why can't we show team names?
People are secretive about who they want to pick,
And they shouldn't be a part of a live stream.
I know, but it's fine.
All right, here's our team. And we've got JT Realmuto and Sean Murphy at catcher, Tristan Casas, Tyro Estrada, Ellie De La Cruz, Austin Riley. And then in the outfield, Jaron Duran, Seiya Suzuki, Dylan Cruz, Tyler O'Neill, Michael Conforto, Matt Shaw at corner, Corey Seager at middle, and Marcelo Zuna at UT. So,
I mean, that's a heck of a lineup.
I think it's a very good lineup. Yeah.
As I was going through, I was like, but then you get to the bottom and you see Seager and Ozuna. It does help quite a bit.
I don't even think that's true. I mean, we got 2 catchers, like actual good catchers in theory, which I never have happen in a 2-catcher league. Estrada's the weak link, obviously.
And Shaw is a big question mark, but obviously big upside.
I don't know. Maybe I'm doing the thing I do too often. I've done too often over the years, in recent years, of
Scott
being too sanguine about the top rookie hitter prospect. But even last year when I was like, I got to stop doing this, look what ended up happening with Jackson Chourio and Jackson Merrill. They turned things around. I think Shaw's going to get a very long leash.
I just don't think you can necessarily say that the guy who's played 35 games above AA is a good bet. I like the talent and I'm excited and I think it was a good pick, but yeah, he's a question mark.
We can fall back on a Ronda. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Like Jamer Candelario went undrafted, which is not exciting, but when he's healthy, he'll play, hit in the middle of a good lineup, great ballpark. So
12
teams
have
to fall back on like Jamer Candelario. I think it's fine.
12-team leagues, different world from 15-team leagues. And I had to keep reminding myself that during the draft.
Yeah. I did want Ryan Mountcastle for a corner and he went 1 pick before we took Shaw.
If it was a 15-teamer, that
we were going to take Shaw.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Scott, you would have voted for Shaw over Mountcastle?
I think you said
I thought that's how the vote went. I thought Chris and I said Shaw, and you were like, all right. You were pushing for somebody else. It wasn't Mount. I don't think it was.
No, it was Mountcastle.
It was Mountcastle. Oh, I wanted Jackson Holiday too. That's who I was looking at.
Yeah.
Our pitching staff, and it just feels like maybe we're 1 pitcher short. I like to get 4 of my top 40 usually in a 12-team league, but we wound up with Framber Valdez, Tyler Glasnow, Aaron Nola, And then Gavin Williams, Clay Holmes, Zach Eflin. Our relievers, Robert Suarez, Ryan Presley, and AJ Puck. So the relievers are scary. We also have Calvin Fauché on the bench.
I disagree. I think we're in good shape for saves.
I just think there's real ratio risk with the
Yeah, but it's minimal number of innings relative to the starters.
I think there's job risk with both Suarez and Presley.
Sure.
But
one of our three closers is going to lose his job for sure. Is there a chance all three do? Yeah, that's possible. But probably two will stick for long enough that it'll make a real dent in the category. And
it's a 12-team league, so there will be
yeah
options on the wire.
And Puck may emerge as a fourth closer.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then on our bench, we have only one hitter. That's Max Kepler. It is a 5-outfielder league, and we have 6 outfielders total. One of them being Tyler O'Neill, who's, not the healthiest in his career. And then we got pitchers Bowden Francis, Nick Martinez, Chris Bubich, Calvin Fauché, Michael Soroka, and Zebby Matthews. So really shooting for the upside there on the bench.
Yeah.
So I think if just any two, let's assume good health for Nola and Fromber, and let's assume 130 healthy innings for Glass now, as healthy as he can be. If we get 2 breakouts from the rest of this crop, Gavin Williams, Clay Holmes, Chris Bubich, Mike Soroka, Zebby Matthews, Bowden Francis. If any 2 of those 6 I listed off break out, it's going to be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We gave ourselves a lot of bites at the apple there.
Yeah.
We got the rotation stabilizer there in Eflin. I think, he's probably not going to be huge, but he's a stabilizer.
He'll be in the lineup all year.
Yeah.
And we might find out right away in Tokyo if Ryan Presley is the closer or not. So
yeah.
Maybe he's the guy we drop before opening day.
The main thing that concerns me about this, taking this many bites out of the breakout pitcher apple is before we set lineups for the first time, we're going to have to make a decision which ones to drop. We only have to drop one, I guess, to get that Sean Murphy replacement in there. We can take our time to get a backup second baseman.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to hurt if we drop the wrong one,
Yeah, I hear that for sure. But again, by the time opening day is here, like as good as Zebby Matthews has looked, maybe he's not in the rotation. I mean,
right.
That's still a possibility.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I get your point though, Scott. We'll see. Again, I wish we had one more stable starting pitcher and obviously like a better first closer. But a 12-team roto, you're not gonna like everything on your team. So, but overall, I think it's a fun team.
I like it.
Yeah. No, I think it's pretty good.
All right. Not too many meltdowns between the three of us sharing a team together.
There wasn't a big argument, was there? I was expecting rager after rager. I was thinking we wouldn't like each other by the time this was over.
The Robert Suarez one just that
you knew we were backed into a corner, Frank. There was nothing we could do.
Yeah.
I was worried that Scott was going to lose it about Reynaldo Lopez. I was putting my foot down.
You only had one vote, to be fair. Frank eventually came around, just a round too late.
I would have been down that round we were thinking about it.
Yeah. I'm fine with the way our pitching came out. So all's well that ends well.